Welcome yet again, football fans. Here we go. Perfect for today because, well, here we go. We got Steelers coming up today, Ravens, Bengals, and Browns, and I hope y'all are ready because today is the AFC North. Today is probably one of the most hard-hitting divisions in the NFL. It is seriously a division that I have been saying for years that you got to play defense on offense in order to win games. The hard hits are incredible. And I'll tell you what, this division is interestingly awesome. This year especially. Because we have a number one draft pick playing in it. We have another young quarterback, phenom, playing in it. We have an old faithful at quarterback playing in it. And, well, we have a former first rounder who is doing his best after 3 seasons playing with 3 different head coaches to shine and to get it done. Ladies and gentlemen, today is going to be quite the division. We have ourselves one of the funnest divisions to watch. So much drama, if you will. The anticipation builds up around these rivalry games, and it is awesome to see how tough these teams really are. We are at the conclusion today of AFC North week. Of AFC week. As we conclude with the AFC North. And we got ourselves 4 more awesome interviews to get to. We got coming up first, Bangalorean. Talking about those Bengals. Then we got ourselves a new, well, he's definitely not new to his team. Season ticket holder, diehard Browns fan, Mr. Cozy. Matt Haynes will stop by, our NFL fantasy football champion, the reigning champion of the Dynasty Bowl. And we're going to end it with Joel for real, Mr. Scott Joel with those Ravens. You are tuned in live to 3 and Out, 8 Division 8 Days, NFC North, right here on IE Sports Radio. You are directly for all that is sports. Welcome, sports fans. Well, as you can see from earlier this week, my voice is still hoarse, but it happens every single year, so it's all good. This is worth it. This is such a fun series, and I'll tell you right now, this has been a great week. We have covered all of the AFC, and here we are now covering the final team this year of the AFC North. So, without further ado, we are going to start things off here with a team that is absolutely a team to watch. Why are they a team to watch? Well, it's very simple. We have the number one draft pick that looks about as promising as it gets. We have a running back that's looking for a breakout year. And we have a defense that is just strange. They play well. They don't. They play well. They don't. This is quite the defense. And I'll tell you what. This is going to be quite the team. And quite the interview with quite the fan. Ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to have here super fan here today to start the show off. He is all the way from Ohio himself. And let's just say he takes fandom to a whole new level. You may even say out of this world. And ladies and gentlemen, welcoming here for his first time, and hopefully first time of many here on 3 and Out. Welcoming super fan Bangalorean. What's going on, Bangalorean? How you doing today, man?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Dude, it is great having you on the show, man. Seriously, I'm over here staring at your Twitter right now, man. You're too much, dude.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You are very welcome, man. This is awesome, man. I'm yesterday when we were trying to get you on the show, man, I was looking and I was like, oh yeah, this guy's super fan, man. So now it's your first time on the show here, and I want you to go ahead and tell everybody, man, like, you are, of course, a super fan. So let everybody know here, all the Bengals fans listening, what is your affiliation with the team? How did you become such a diehard Bengals fan?
So I was born and raised a Bengals fan, to be honest with you, from when I first started walking to now as an adult. So it was only natural that eventually I would take it to the next level and become this wild character that I've created to kind of bring light to the team, along with some of the other super fans out there, like Bengals captain. We just love the team, and when it comes down to it, we are pumped. We have a team in our city, an NFL franchise in our city. So why not support it, especially loving football, you know?
Absolutely. And you guys, man, I'll tell you what, I'm a Raider fan, okay? So I know a thing or two about cheering for teams that just kind of don't get it, you know? Cheering for teams that you're like, okay, well, you know, one win would be nice today, you know, this year.
Right.
So you guys have had some ups and downs, but let's start things off here with last season. Not the best year at all, but it landed you guys Joe Burrow. Now, we will get into the draft in a little bit, but man, I mean, this last offseason, this last season was something else. So, give us every raw emotion from beginning to end from last season for you as a Bengals fan.
Oh, man, do you have all day? but I'll start. Honestly, in the beginning of the season, there's that forever optimism coming into last year. I was like, you know what? We got a squad. We can do this. A couple guys went down. Obviously, a massive injury in A.J. Green, which sidelines him for the entire season. And I don't want to say injury was the entire reason we were as bad as we were last year, because look at the record, 2 and whatever. We were not a great team. It was kind of awful in the beginning, and as the season went on, it was okay. You know, I love Dalton, but it's starting to look like he might not be our guy anymore. He was our guy, and they put him down, and they brought Finley in, and didn't get any better, obviously, as you can see. But I think that kind of stuff in combination with a first-year head coach, new position coaches, new staff, it all just kind of was a perfect storm that led to that season. But at the end of the day, like you say, after the storm, there's some calm, and we end up getting that number 1 pick and locking up our golden boys. So at the end of the day, I'm happy it happened.
You know, it's always a tough thing, isn't it, when you watch your team fall apart. But when you get that draft pick, it's kind of nice because you're like, well, there's some light at the end of the tunnel. Let's hope, you know?
Absolutely.
Alrighty. So, let's go ahead and jump on over here to free agency and talk a little bit about your team and some of the new pickups, some of the departures, you know. So, overall, okay, Andy Dalton on his way out. No longer a Bengal. Yep. He's a Cowboy. Next up, A.J. Green stays a Bengal. Awesome. We have Kirkpatrick heading over to the Cardinals. John Miller heading to the Panthers. Mike Daniels, however, big boy, coming on over from the Lions. You guys will have Trey Wayans coming on over from the Vikings. And, really, nothing was more explosive than who we're going to get to in a little bit, of course, in the draft. However, we do have here some key pickups and departures. I know I didn't name all of them, but if you want to, Tyler Eifert going to the Jaguars. I remember when that guy got drafted. So it's like, go ahead and go through all of, or whichever free agency departures or pickups that you felt was significant, and who do you think can come play a role immediately?
Yeah, for sure. The guys that left, obviously thank them, but you kind of have to have a short-term memory with that kind of stuff because they're gone, right? So, but we brought in awesome guys, like you mentioned, Mackenzie Alexander. Obviously, hope his current situation works out with his dad. Trey Waynes, both those guys at corner. Unfortunately, with that pectoral injury, he's going to be out. Staying in the secondary, bringing in Von Bell. I mean, I'm extremely excited to see him making tackles and stripes alongside Jesse Bates. Our D-line, my gosh. Let me talk about his D-line real quick. So we brought in DJ Reader, right? We got Mike Daniels, both big boys, big beasts. They're going to be playing next to Geno Atkins, who obviously Pro Bowler, awesome, stalwart on our D-line. And then you're looking at our ends. I mean, we've got Hubbard, we've got Lawson, and a couple more in there. The D-line is just going to be absolutely insane this year. I'm so excited to see them stop the run, the ends drop back. I mean, it's going to be amazing. I'm totally pumped about it. Offensive line, obviously, we brought in Suafilo from the boys over there. He's a work in progress. I think he'll add value and depth at guard. I don't think he's going to be, the next Whitworth on our team, but at all by any means. But he's there. He's depth. And then you got a couple others like Mike Thomas, but at wide receiver, who knows if he's going to make the roster right now with the amount of talent we have at receiver right now. It's absolutely insane.
Well, you're right. Whitworth is very hard to replace. The guy is a monster. And overall, Suafilo, I remember him getting drafted 2 years back, and the guy's not too bad. But overall, it's just, I'll tell you right now, this team has promise, but at the same exact time, it's like, it's just they got to get it done on the field. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right. So now that we have, gotten over that, let's get on over to the elephant in the room, if you will, because this is, of course, you guys, with the number one draft pick, of course, you guys will select Joe Burrow out of LSU, national championship winning quarterback. I sound a lot like Coach O right now because of the week of tons of podcasts. So, I guess this kind of works. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
So, I'll tell you right now, man, with these pickups, you guys, overall, I thought it was a pretty good draft. And you know what? I think some of these guys can actually come in and do really well for you guys. So, with that said, let's go ahead and jump into the draft and talk about who you think could be an immediate impact. Also, besides Joe Burrow. So, we have, of course, you guys, with the number one overall pick, taking Joe Burrow out of LSU. Then we have T. Higgins, wide receiver, coming out of Clemson, giving him some weapons. I like it. We're giving him a weapon. Very good receiver. A former national champion. Awesome job there from him. An awesome job from the Bengals picking him up. Next up, Logan Wilson, linebacker out of Wyoming. Hard-hitting linebacker. Akeem Davis Gaither, another linebacker out of Appalachian State. Khalid Kareem out of Notre Dame, defensive end. Hakeem Ndenhi, I believe I don't butcher his name, but guard out of Kansas, beefing up the offensive line there. And then in the 7th round, another linebacker out of Purdue, Marcus Bailey. Of course, we know that good old Joe is going to come in and more than likely start. But anybody else that you think can come in and be an immediate impact? And then, of course, elaborate on what Joe Burrow can do for this team.
Yeah, you named it already. Higgins is going to be an incredible complement to the Boyd, Ross, Green, Tate show. And honestly, I see him being a future maybe number 2 behind Boyd, and someday maybe a number 1. He's a huge, big-bodied receiver. He doesn't have the John Ross speed, obviously, but he looked great in camp. I was down at camp a couple times on one of the bridges there because fans weren't allowed to technically attend, but and I got to see him work, and it was awesome. Sliding over to the defense, you named Logan Wilson, Marcus Bailey, Hakeem Davis Gaither. They're all going to be underneath the tutelage of the veteran Josh Bynes, and obviously we've also got Pratt back there, who's playing like a second-year player, not a rookie this year. like you said, Logan Wilson is a hard-hitting linebacker, and then I think we got Gaither and Bailey. There are Lamar Jackson stoppers, in my opinion. You know what I mean? The guys that can get to one side of the field and the other and tackle those quick running backs and quick quarterbacks like that. You also, Khalid Kareem, solid addition. Hakeem Adeniji, also a solid addition. But overall, obviously, the biggest pickup here in the draft is Joe Burrow. There's no doubt about it. There were teams clamoring at our doorstep, trying to trade up to get him. I won't name any. One of them's a sea creature down in Miami. But it's the most prolific draft pick I think we've had since the likes of like Carson Palmer and AJ Green. The guy brings all kinds of hardware with him, the national championship, the Heisman, the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award. That's why I keep calling him the Golden Boy. But he's going to get in here. He's already proven his leadership, and I really think that this is the captain of our ship now. He's going to lead us, and maybe it's not this year, maybe it's not next year, but I, honest to God, see a championship out of this team the way it's developed and the direction it's going.
All it takes is one good player to really spark a team. Maybe he's it. So, okay, now that we've gotten through the draft, free agency, last year, let's get into this year. Let's talk a little about what you think this year can bring for the Bengals. So, I know that I may not be, Super Bowl or bust this year, but then again, who knows? So, let us know how you feel with the team moving forward. What do you expect out of this team this year?
Yeah, we need everybody to stay healthy first and foremost. That's obviously your biggest concern. We're coming off a wild preseason, the likes of we've never seen before. Limited practices, limited reps, all the social distancing and everything that was going on. Good Lord, they were doing cadence calling on Zoom, so I can imagine how crazy and awkward that was. But realistically, coming in, I see us surprising the league. You know what I mean? Because we're always this doormat. You know what I mean? And you said you're a Raiders fan, and I don't know the other teams in there, us, the Dolphins, Raiders, these teams that just they're there. They're those guys that always show up and we tune up on them. But I honest to God think that we're going to surprise the league this year and sort of throw that doormat mantra out the window with everybody I just named, all these additions. You name a position, there's probably a new guy at it, and he's going to be solid. And now, heck, we just signed Joe Mixon, right? Look at the contract we just gave him. There's arguments out there that you shouldn't pay running backs, but I like to say when you've got a running back like that is arguably the best player on your team right now, you got to take care of him. So, and he's going to be here for the next 4 to 5 years. So I really see us next season taking that step to say, hey, we're the Bengals, we're in the NFL, we're here to stay, don't doubt us because we're going to start winning.
This is definitely a big statement coming up, and I'll tell you what, you guys really do have a strong team that is, really, there's a lot of promise on this team. You brought up Geno Atkins, a legendary player. The pieces are there. It's just, once again, you got to put them together and play like it. So, okay, so kind of cool. We finished a little bit earlier than expected, but this is perfect because, of course, we got one more after this, but I'm going to add another segment right now because I really, really got to know, man. You're a super fan. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, go check him out. He is, he is on Twitter, and it is at the Bengalorian. That is TheBengalorian. Go look at this is awesome. I'm telling you, he's awesome. So go take a look right now while we're talking about this. So I gotta know, man, how did this come about? When did you start doing this? When did you become one of these super duper diehard fans? We see them all over the league. The Raiders, we have plenty, but it's pretty cool that you got your own You got your own get up. You got something really, really cool, man. Something very unique, in my opinion. How did you think of this? How did it start? What inspired you? Of course, I mean, I think I might know what inspired you, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like, how did you get this whole thing started?
Yeah, definitely. I've been a season ticket holder for a while now, and we've got our guys like I mentioned. We've got Bengals captain, who is he's a stud in the fan department. He does awesome things for the organization. There's a few others, and they can beat me up later for not naming them personally, but we are evolving and going toward the direction, and I've had this conversation with Captain. We look at the Raiders, right, and you guys are legendary with your fans. You got the spiked shoulder pads, the Warriors, and all this stuff, and we're like, why can't we do that? Why can't we be that? You know what I mean? Let's support this team that, like I said, is constantly this doormat, and let's show them not only are they in it to win it, but they also have an entire fan base behind them that says, hey, we support this team. And how I chose the Mandalorian is I'm a Star Wars fan, and the Mandalorian show, if you haven't seen that on I think it's Disney Plus, is awesome. And I just said, you know what, I'm gonna build that armor, I'm gonna paint it orange, I'm gonna put stripes on it, I'm gonna go wild. So it was a natural transition, being an insane fan, season ticket holder, and just woke up one day and said, guess what, I'm gonna put a costume on and scream my head off for this team. So that's how it happened.
And then he exited the game sounding like me right now. So there you go. You know, that's awesome, man.
Absolutely.
That is incredible. And yeah, we actually had Captain Obvious on last year. So that's pretty darn cool, man. Like, you guys, I love it. Being a true diehard is just an awesome thing. And I think it's great. You know, you guys really make, in my opinion, you guys make the game. I really do. Like, super fans are awesome because, I mean, okay, for instance, you wouldn't happen to be a Buckeye, would you?
I'm a Bearcat, but
oh, that's right. Sorry. Okay,
you're okay.
but I mean, you gotta love the guy with the big nut.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, come on, man. You got Dr. Death and Violator for the Raiders.
Yep. Like,
you know what I mean? Like, you got the people who just, it's like when the camera pans on them, it's like, this person is awesome. You know what I mean? Like yeah, those.
No, I do. Yeah, because it just shows that there's someone out there that's crazy enough to get dressed up and loves this team enough. You know, and you see it on the camera, like you just said. You get charged up too. Like, heck yeah, you know what? I'm pumped too. Let's all be pumped together. You know? Exactly.
I mean, okay. I think the craziest ones to this day, though, are those Packer fans with no shirts. I don't know how they, dude. Man, look, man. I'm a Southern Californian, so I know what heat is, but I certainly don't know what cold is, and I don't want to. And and seeing these guys out there with like no shirt on and a beer, and it's like, you know, 10 degrees with the wind chill out there. It's like this dude is literally insane. Or like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, what in the
dedication?
It really is. So it's like, I can say, you know, I mean, to me, those are super fans too. I mean, to go out there and do that, I think that's tradition for them sometimes. But I'll tell you what, man, you guys, you have a super cool get up. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, just go check him out once again, the Bengalorian on Twitter. You will get, like, you will see these tweets. And my favorite one, as a matter of fact, the one, of course, pinned to the top of your page. That's pretty neat, man. Like, it's pretty cool. Like, you put on your armor and just doing your thing, and it's really neat because it's like, it's really neat. Like you just marching around by yourself, or, you know, like walking on the street, like with Cincinnati in the background. Like, it's super cool, man. Like, okay, how do you come up with the concepts for these videos? You just want to like make something that's, you know, of course, goes with your getup, but like, what goes into you thinking about these, or do you just like freestyle it and do a video?
Honestly, I balance it between the theme of the armor, you know, the character that I am, and love for the team, and I turn the camera on and I just go. I don't know. I just enjoy it, and I think honestly that's part of the gimmick about it, is like, you can tell I enjoy it. I think so that'll make other people enjoy it, you know. So, and I just want people to watch the videos and go, hey, that guy loves the team. I love the team too. Let's all cheer for the team together, you know.
Absolutely, man. When I saw it yesterday, I was like, dude, I've got to get you on the show, man. Like, this is such a neat thing. And, okay, so we have a lot of chat going on in the chat room. So I want to visit this real quick. So Terry Rodriguez, one of our awesome esteemed colleagues here at iSports Radio, says the Bengals will be better than last year, but I don't see them making the playoffs, and they're losing to the Chargers week 1. Guess what? He's a Chargers fan.
Yeah, okay.
So
there it is.
Right? So he says here, let's see here. Okay, so Cincinnati has a dang good women's volleyball team. Upset six-seeded Pitt in the round of 32 and almost beat number 11 seed Penn State in Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament. Now, if you happen to follow all of Cincinnati sports, sir, that is awesome. If you don't, I get it. I know you probably, like, you're more than likely really busy and everything. But, of course, we do cover literally almost everything here on iSports Radio. So I am very familiar with the Bearcats. I am very familiar with the football team being as damn good as they are. That 3-3-5 defense is awesome. I coach it. I play in it. I played it before. I'm a big fan of it. I love what the Bearcats have been doing. They have been shocking people like crazy. So now that Taryn brought that up, little sidebar, did you know that about the women's volleyball team in Cincinnati?
I did not. I personally don't follow volleyball. That pumps me up to hear they're doing well. But yeah, I definitely as a student there back in the day was football, basketball, and then I went to some of the soccer games. So the three main ones. But I know there's a bunch of sports there, and I know that they've got a great athletic organization there. So
yeah, they really do. And you know what, man? Quick and dirty. I just want to bring this up because they are very surprising. And seriously, if the Bengals could do the same thing, it would be awesome. But real quick, man, those Bearcats, really quick, what do you think? Last year, not too shabby. This year, we don't know what in the world's going on with football. But still, Cincinnati, man, the football team is going in the right direction.
Absolutely, I agree. It's anyone's guess as to what's going to happen with football. I know there's been some announcements. I know they're playing. I didn't make it to as many games as I wanted to last year because I'm a veteran, so I was on active duty last year. I'm out now, so I'm going to try to get to as many as I can this year, hopefully, if they allow fans. If they don't, I don't know. I don't know if they've made an announcement or not, but I really think they do look good, and I really think they can kind of make waves again. I attended back in the day with Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce and those guys. That's my age group, so I'm used to good Bearcat football and fun Bearcat football. So
that's what I'm talking about, man. That's awesome. So with that said, we have here a couple more comments. Jonathan Grinke here, our booking agent, and also host of a few shows here on the network. Well, one show, but he helps jump on with others and guests. Really cool guy. He says it's sad that the Bengals squandered having AJ McCarron there. Wasted too much money with Dalton. What do you think about that?
I liked AJ McCarron. I really did, and I was a big Dalton supporter. Still am. I love the guy. I'm glad he's home in Texas. He deserves it. I've met the guy plenty of times. I used to live right around the corner from him.
That's awesome.
He's off to Dallas now. He's doing his thing. There were calls. Hey, put McCarron in. And I was one of the quiet few that was sort of like, yeah, okay, let's see what he does. Let's see what he can do there. I've always liked AJ McCarron. I liked him in college. I thought awesome. We got him here in Cincy, and then it was not unfortunate, but good for him. He got to, I think it was Buffalo we sent him to, and correct me if I'm wrong, but he went to Buffalo and he tried to do his thing there, and then they brought in whoever they brought in, and yeah, I don't know if he's really gotten his shot, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So he is a great quarterback, and he played great at Alabama, but it's a tough business. You know that. You know what I mean? We all know that. So, Taryn also says here in the chat room, Jordan Thompson is a beast for the Bearcats team in women's volleyball. Well, there you go, man. See? I'm telling you, you got support from all angles, man. So, with that said, that's going to do it for this segment. However, there's one last segment, and this one is always so much fun to do. It's a little segment we like to call Stick It To 'Em. Now, you being a super fan, I don't know how this is going to go. It can go either way. You can be respectful. You can be mean and ugly. You can be neutral, which I guess is respectful. You can be crazy, which is probably mean and ugly. However you want to do it, man. But there are 3 more teams in this division that you probably aren't too fond of. So, this is your chance. We talked all about your Bengals. And this is your chance here to kind of just stick it to the rest of the division. Now, however you want to do it is up to you. But, Mr. Bengalorian, how do you feel the rest of the NFC North is going to do this year? Stick it to them.
Look, I'll be honest with you, the Ravens, they got a heck of a team, man. Lamar Jackson, their pickups, they're going to be tough to beat. I think if we can play football the way we want to play Bengals football, we can split them. I really do. I think that the first time we play them, honestly, not going to smoke us, but they're going to beat us just because that's like whoa, hey, the Ravens are here to play. Yeah. We'll game plan them the second time. Browns, honestly, I think it's going to be a battle between us and them for that second spot in the division. And I'm thinking we can top them. I really do. They've got a lot of talent. Baker Mayfield's slendered down since that beautiful vacation picture with his gut hanging out there. But I think that they have some talent, and they'll be a challenge. The Steelers, I'm not even worried about them. I don't like that team. Nobody likes that team. That's from Cincinnati. They got Big Ben coming back. Big Ben, Big Whoop. That's what I say. I think they're going to have a rude awakening this year, and I don't think they're going to be a very good team. I'll be 100% honest with you. And any Steeler fan out there that wants to message me, they can go ahead, because I'll talk to you about it.
Because I'm glad you said that. Because I don't know if he's in the chat room still or still listening, but he jumped on earlier, and he, of course, is big-time fan, Steelers fan, Matthew Hames. And he's been on the show quite a lot. He was on last year. And he keeps on, of course, Captain Obvious, correct?
Yep. Oh, yeah. Good friends with him.
So, last year when we had Captain Obvious on, Matthew was listening to the show. And being a super fan, Captain Obvious said that, he thinks that he felt that you guys were going to probably take to the division. And I forgot what running back you had at the time. Who was your guys' starter last year?
We had Mixon, but we had Gio as well.
Oh,
Giovanni Bernard.
That's right. Okay, so you still had Mixon. And I believe he said that Joe Mixon was going to lead the NFL in rushing yards or something like that, or touchdowns or whatever. And Matt got on here and was like busting him, man. Like, he was like, in the entire year, like, because he came on, like right now, like, Matt will be on a little bit on the show, and when he came on, he was like, just making fun. He was like, wow, Captain Obvious, are you serious? You know what I mean? Like he was talking crap the whole time. And then, like, every time in all of our chat groups on iSports Radio, and, like, any chance he can get, he would literally, like, refer Captain Obvious. Like, oh, yeah, Captain Obvious, number 1 team in the league, right? Like, he would not let it rest. So, I know Matt's going to get on here in a little bit and have something to say about you saying that. Any words for Mr. Matthew Hames?
I tell him, come to Paul Brown, man. I got a seat right next to me. We'll share a beer and we'll talk about the game when it happens. That's what I'll say.
That's what I'm talking about. Dude, see, no matter what, man, football, no matter who we are, what we are, even if we can't stand the team and they're super fans of the other, doesn't matter. At the end of the day, man, football is what brings us together. Am I right? It is awesome. It
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a brotherhood and a sisterhood.
It really is. And I'll tell you what, man, I cannot stand with every bit of me the stupid Chargers, the Donkeys, or the Chefs. But you know something? At the end of the day, I got great friends that are fans of all those teams. I may not like them for 3 hours. Yep. But you know what? After the game, it's all love. And at the end of the day, we share the same love for the same exact sport. And to me, that's what matters, right?
Absolutely. Totally agree.
So there we go, man. So, alrighty. With that said, one last thing. We have come to the end, but please let everybody know, man, where they can find you on Twitter, where they can find anything if you write, doing the publications, anything you may do, man. Please let these diehard Bengals fans that are listening, Hoo Day, And, of course, let all these fans listening where they can find you, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I'm on Twitter. I've got an Instagram. It's not really I don't pay as much attention to it. I'm having fun with Twitter right now, but if you search me up on Twitter, the Bangalorean, I'm on there. I'm going to throw out fun videos and fun content for anybody that wants to follow. And if you want to jab back and forth, I'm more than willing to do that. I got a quick tongue and wit to follow. So, but yeah, like you said, at the end of the day, it's all going to be respectful. So yeah, hit me up on Twitter. I'm there.
There you go, man. Well, with that said, that was awesome. Where's my applause button, man? You're getting the big one, man. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, the Bangalorean. Awesome stuff, man. And, dude, I look forward to having you back here in the season, man. Some primetime face-offs. We'll get into that later. I'll tell you what those are. But that was a lot of fun, man. Thank you so much for being on today's show. Really appreciate it, man. Have you a wonderful rest of your day. Take care, man. God bless you and your family. And I look forward to talking with you soon.
Good deal. You too. Who days the way?
There we go, man. Take care, brother. Talk to you soon, man. Alrighty, y'all. That was awesome, man. The Bangalorean. That was super cool. Super excited to continue on today's show. And there you have it. So, with that said, we have one team down, 3 more to go. We're going to go from one side of Ohio, from the south to the north, as we take a trip to Cleveland next. Another first-timer, as we talk to Mr. Michael Cozy, Browns season ticket holder. It's going to be a lot of fun. Be ready. We recorded this last night. It was a great interview, great guy, and we're going to keep the great things, we're going to keep the great times rolling here on 3 and Out, A Division A Days, AFC North Day here, the conclusion of AFC Week, right here on iSports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
Lopan, they didn't even want you. Heck, they didn't even want me. But you know what? Right about now, they have no choice. Looking for the real sports talk? Talk that's for us, the people? Look no further. The Wait a Minute Show, a prime-time sports comedy cocktail that tucks you in at night. Join me and Lopan Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 2livestewsradio.com and Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the waitaminuteshow.com. Sounds like a plan to me. Ain't that right, Lopan?
Indeed.
Hi everybody, it's Calvin here from USRN, here to give you an important message. Since 2017, we have done our absolute best to provide you with nothing but the highest quality of sports calls in the greatest of quantity possible. Thanks to you, our station has grown more than we ever thought. That's why, with your help, we would like to grow even further. Just think, twice the amount of your favorite calls, 24 hours of coverage, talk shows, play-by-play, game-by-game analysis, and so much more. That's right, USRN2 is officially in development, but we can't do it alone. We have set up a GoFundMe page that you can access from our homepage on the left of your screen. We also are planning special giveaways and prizes to our highest owners. Our goal here at USRN is to bring you the best calls possible at no cost to you. In order to continue to do that, we need your help now. Please check out our GoFundMe page, and if you would like to know how you can help, you can email usrnradio@gmail.com. Without your support, we couldn't do what we do.
Welcome in to the Neutral Zone. I'm your host, Robert Kavanaugh, and you're listening to IE Sports Radio. If you like big nasty hits, if you like slap chop straight to the neck, if you like it when the blood hits the ice and the big boys get down, then this is your show. on IE Sports Radio. This is the Neutral Zone. May our shots on goal always be true and straight to the net. If they are not, may they be followed up, redirected, or change collected. Let's go on IE Sports Radio with me, your host, Robert Kavanaugh, and this is the Neutral Zone.
Welcome back, football fans. Alrighty, well, as you heard, we just finished up with our Bengals fan. That was pretty darn awesome talking to the Bengalian. That was pretty sweet, man. Awesome stuff as always on the show. You never know who's going to pop up. True diehard right there. And we just finished up with one side of Ohio. Now we're heading to the other side. Or I guess we're going from south to north to talk about the other team in Ohio. Cleveland. Those Cleveland Browns, y'all. So, as we know, we're starting things off today with the Bengals. We're going right into the Browns. We're going to jump right into the Steelers with Mr. Matt Hames afterwards. And then we got those Ravens to conclude the show with. So, without further ado, let's jump right on this interview. This was actually previously recorded last night, but I know you're all going to enjoy it because we have yet another newcomer here on 3 and Out. So, without further ado, welcoming for his very first time, and hopefully very first time of many, we have here a brand new fan to 3 and Out, and I'm glad to have him here. He is an alum, which is pretty cool, of the Ohio State University, and a diehard Cleveland fan to the core. The man has season tickets. That is freaking awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming, of course, the one, the only, Mr. Michael Cozy. What's going on, Michael? How you doing today, man?
How we doing today, Larry? As always, go Browns and go Buckeyes as well.
Well, there you go, man. And hey, those Buckeyes, that's a different story. But man, talk about a crazy team, crazy season. Hopefully everything works out, man. But definitely looking forward to talking about talk about these Browns here today and get on into the nitty gritty, man. So starting things off, since it's your first time here on the show, go ahead and tell all the Browns fans listening, and of course all of the football fans that are listening, how you became such a diehard Browns fan, man. What is your affiliation to the team?
So it kind of starts with my family. My parents have had Brown season tickets since way back in the 70s. They had it in my dad's family, kind of just passed down generation to generation. Then obviously the team got moved to Baltimore in 95. When they came back in 99, immediately my parents were like, okay, we're going to go to every single game. I was 10 at the time when they came back. So I just have been kind of a very loyal Browns fan, going to the games each week. Even when I went to Ohio State, drive up 2 hours, meet them for games, get to enjoy some nice 30-degree days when we're 4-10 and you somehow squeak out a victory. And you know what? Even though everyone says it's kind of at the end of the season, like the season's over with, I don't know what it is. It's something about those games that when you win a game and you go from 4-10 to 5-10, it's kind of like, you know what? Maybe next year we turned a corner. We're hitting our stride at the end of the season. Maybe next year will be our year. And I mean, that's always been the Cleveland motto. It's always been maybe next year. So who knows? Maybe this year we will turn it around, new coaching staff, and kind of leave the old coaching staff and last year's very disappointing season behind us.
Well, let's go ahead and jump right into that very disappointing season. It was another clunker. Really sucks. I know the stuff go for the Browns fans. I'm a Raider fan, so I sympathize with you. Trust me.
Yep.
I understand. So with that said, man, let's go ahead and talk about last season and your every emotion you had through it, and whatever else you'd like to say about last season.
So, I mean, last season, opening day, it was amazing. The tailgate, everything. People were super excited about the season. It just seemed like everything was going positive. We got the trade for Odell. We had this coach who was loudmouth. We had Baker, who was
kind of looking at the up and the up. He was at multiple Indians games. He was in multiple commercials. It seemed like Cleveland was pretty much on the rise, and everyone was excited. And, I mean, opening drive of the Titans game at home on opening day, we went right down the field and scored a touchdown. It was 6-0, and then it just seemed like the season in a microcosm fit right then and there. We were up 6-0, and we missed the extra point, and it kind of like just blew all the wind out of our sails, and we didn't really recover. I mean, it's like we were sitting there. I guess our best week was week 4 at Baltimore. We kind of dominated them. I mean, Nick Chubb looked great that game. Baker Mayfield looked great. The team as a whole looked great, and we kind of set shockwaves for the NFL, and then it's like we just came out and looked awful the very following Monday night in front of a national crowd against the 49ers, and it's like you look at the team, and it's like week to week, they just didn't seem prepared enough. It just seemed like we were just throwing darts at a dartboard and hoping something would stick last year. And it was really disappointing overall because, I mean, we came in, high expectations. I know Vegas, they kind of were high on us. I mean, I don't know if Vegas had us to win the AFC North, but I know we were definitely up there as one of the favorites to win the AFC North. And it just kind of seemed like ever since we kind of like got all these personalities in the locker room, it kind of didn't mesh well either. The other thing is John Dorsey, nothing against him. I think he was a great drafter, but I think that he also tried to take numerous players on the roster that didn't really fit, and it kind of clashed personalities. And then, I mean, obviously the incident with Pittsburgh last year with Myles Garrett and Mason Rudolph, it just seemed like there was no control of this team last year. So I just think it was a lot to do with front office, coaching staff, things like that. There was a lot of off-the-field issues, and it just seemed like off the field in the off-season, we weren't focused enough. We were hearing the hype, and we bought into the hype. And it kind of reminded me of when Chip Kelly and the Eagles got all those players at once, and everyone was proclaiming them to be the greatest team in the NFC that year and maybe the greatest team ever, and they came out, and I believe they went 6-10 as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like it was a big letdown, and the thing that I look at it as, we've never had a great team in Cleveland. We've had 2 years that have been positive winning seasons since we've been back since 99. And right now you can't just go back and say, well, we're an expansion team, or it's been 20 years since we've been an expansion team. There's got to be something in the cards where someone's got to say, okay, look, this team has to put it together on paper, and they also have to put it together on the field. It can't just be one or the other, because on paper the talent is there. Now we need to find a leader and a coach, and I think moving forward this year, I think we finally found a coach that's going to do that. Unfortunately, with the coronavirus restrictions, it's kind of an odd off season. It's kind of bad to have a brand new head coaching staff and even a front office staff, because we've had a few players that have backed out, and we've had a few players that have gotten injured as well, and we don't have very much depth as it is. So, kind of looking at it, we're kind of thin on some of our areas. And here's the other thing with Baker Mayfield: he's going to have his third coach in 3 years as a head coach. He's been in the NFL for 3 years, so that's 3 separate playbooks as well.
That says a lot about him, because you know what, he can step in and do his best, but at the end of the day, those playbooks are fat, man. You know what I mean? Those playbooks are definitely
absolutely.
They're definitely hard to learn, and you gotta tip your hat to that guy, man. He really is a very dedicated player. It just sucks when we have to deal with that, you know? So let's take a look here at this offseason for you guys. You guys had some free agency pickups. A couple stay, a couple depart, and a couple big pickups. So I'm just going to read off a few of the ones that I thought were pretty big, courtesy of overthecap.com. And then you can go ahead and throw in anything you'd like. So we have Oliver Vernon, of course, staying in Brown. Christian Kirksey going from the Browns to the Packers. TJ Carey going from the Browns to the Colts. Myles Garrett does resign. We have Case Keenum coming over from the Washington football team. We have here Jack Conklin coming over from the Browns, from the Titans. Pretty big pickup there. Let's see here. Kevin Johnson will also come over from the Bills to the Browns. We have one of my guys, man, Mr. Carl Joseph, coming over from the Raiders over to the Browns. And it's kind of funny because we actually had a switch here because Eric Kush, when your guard, will go to the Raiders, as well as Demarius Randall, your safety. So, Adrian Claiborne coming over from the Falcons to the Browns. I mean, lots and lots of pickups. Austin Hooper also coming on over, another big body tight end right there. You know, so I mean, overall, there were some pretty big pickups. There were some more. Of course, B.J. Goodson coming over from the Packers to the Browns. I mean, a lot of good pickups here, but go ahead, man. Let us know your your thoughts on the pickups and departures and who you think can come in and make the biggest impact.
So, believe it or not, I really do think that one of the main things that I see is I obviously like Kevin Stefanski as our head coach. I love Andrew Berry as our GM. I think they've both done great jobs. But one of the biggest pickups, and I think that's going to possibly help Baker Mayfield even a lot, is Alex Van Pelt as our offensive coordinator. I think that was a key thing, a key hire there. And I also like the hire of our defensive coordinator, Joe Woods, as well. I think that both those acquisitions are really going to help us moving forward. I think the fact that they've had some experience in the NFL is going to help us with kind of a brand new first-year head coach and kind of a transition in this odd coronavirus year. The other thing is, I think our biggest signing was Jack Conklin from the Titans. He is going to be a massive upgrade at right tackle. We suffered mightily through a lot of games last year on the line, specifically on that right side of the line. I mean, Baker was getting pressured nonstop, and I just kind of feel like it's going to help out there. I also think that Austin Hooper is going to be not just a great player on the field, but he's going to be a fantasy steal. I feel like we're going to have a lot of goal line a lot of red zone plays that are just going to be designed for Austin Hooper. I'm kind of a little biased here as I do like one of our trades, and I do like the offense that Stefanski is actually running this year. One of our trades that I really do think that's going to help us is going to be for Andy Jankovic or Janovich. Mm-hmm. I think that he's going to be a big impact player in the red zone. I think we're going to have a lot of goal line red zone formations where we line the fullback up, we go I formation, power football with Nick Chubb. And I mean, in Cleveland, the thing is, once we hit middle November, December, you have a threat of snow every single week. So if we're hosting a game and we're playing an in-division game, and specifically we have a December Monday night game against Baltimore, very much so we could be playing in 2 to 3, 4 inches of snow, and we're going to be lining the ball up, running it a lot with Nick Chubb, offensive linemen that we brand newly signed. We also drafted a left tackle in Jared Wilkes. And I hope that our line holds up. It was Jets. Oh, sorry. Mm-hmm. I just hope that our line holds up because, I mean, we've already seen an injury to JT Treader, and he could miss some time. From what I've been hearing every day, it seems like he could be on the field come here soon. I know the other day in the interview, Stefanski kind of said that he was undecided if he's going to be practicing next week. So I'm a little leery about it. The main thing is right now we don't have a lot of depth on the line. Obviously, at wide receiver, I think we have a lot of depth there, but we're also losing a little bit of depth on our defensive line since we had one of our major pickups. He's sitting out because of coronavirus. Is Andrew Billings, who came over from Cincinnati. So I think that Adrian Claiborne could help us out a little bit as well this year. I do think that one of our other key players that we got, and I know this is going to sting a lot, is Carl Joseph. I think he is going to be a difference maker, and I think that once we go to nickel pack, Kevin Johnson could help us out a lot as well.
Carl Joseph is a beast, and he's got to use him right. The man is a scud missile, and he is quite the tackler. And he was great at West Virginia. He did go with us for a while, but we just didn't know how to use him right. It's what it is, but he's a good athlete. So I think you guys got some great pickup, some value in him and a lot of these players. But okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the draft here because you did already kind of segue us there. So awesome. So we'll talk some so in your first round here, Jedrick Wills, of course, beast out of Alabama. So you mentioned him already at tackle. Second round pick you have here, Grant Delpit, very good safety out of LSU. The man just won a national championship. He knows a thing or two about winning titles. We have here Jordan Elliott, also in the third round, defensive tackle out of Mizzou. We got Jacob Phillips, of course, another big boy out of LSU, another champion right there, coming in at 6'3", 229 pounds, big guy. Harrison Bryant with the fourth round pickup, tight end out of FAU, Florida Atlantic. We have Nick Harris, center out of Washington. I'm a Pac-12 guy myself, so know a thing or two about Washington. Pretty good team there. Donovan Peoples-Jones, wide receiver out of Michigan. And that will be your final pick there in the sixth round. And that's the final pick of you guys for the draft. So when it comes down to it, man, what do you think? Do you think you guys are pretty good in the draft? Give us your thoughts on the draft. And once again, who can come in and make an immediate impact for you guys?
So I'm going to start out with the big elephant in the room, or pink elephant in the room kind of thing. Grant Delpit, he was my favorite draft pick we had. Unfortunately, he's out for the season. He tore his Achilles, and we're not going to get to see him until next year. It's a very tough break for him because I think he was going to be an immediate impact player. I cannot wait for him to be back on the field next year. I think that Jedrick Wills could, I don't want to say Joe Thomas level, but I mean, he's coming out his first year and he just looks amazing in camp. I mean, obviously he's already won the starting job. He's going to be starting from day one. I think that's going to be a great pickup. I also have heard very positive things about Jacob Phillips. But the best draft pick that we had, in my opinion, is Harrison Bryant. I mean, once again, we use a lot of two tight ends, fullback sets. I know David Njoku has his great athletic ability, but I do think that Harrison Bryant and Austin Hooper are going to be two of Baker Mayfield's top targets this year. I also think that Donovan Peoples-Jones is going to be a great number 4 receiver on our list. I mean, you look at it, and Baker has a decent amount of people that he can throw to right now. I mean, obviously, you have the numerous ones that everyone knows their names. You got without a doubt Odell Beckham Jr. You got Jarvis Landry, and then you kind of got. I mean, I've seen him throw to Damian Ratley a lot. You also have Hollywood Higgins, which, I mean, he's a fan favorite. But, I mean, after that, they kind of fall off a little bit. So I think Donovan Peoples-Jones is going to kind of fit in there at, like, that number 4 wide receiver on the field. I've heard good things about him. I've also heard good things about Odell's been off side helping out black receiving through in between reps, which is a good thing. It's a good leadership quality, And I'm definitely excited about our draft pick. I also wouldn't count out as far as some of our undrafted free agents. I have seen a few of them that I think could maybe make a impact. One could be AJ Green from Oklahoma State. I know he's obviously not the same AJ Green is on the Cincinnati Bengals, which, trust me, I'd love to have him at wide receiver as well. But I do think that AJ Green is cornerback from Oklahoma State could possibly make the team and could possibly make an impact on this team.
You guys definitely had a good draft, and I'll tell you what, it's going to be more exciting to see his guys out there on that field. So, good stuff. I did not know that about Delpit. Tough break, but my prayers, man, get well soon. And look to have you back out there next season. But, okay, so we talked about the offseason, talked about last season, talked about the offseason. Let's go ahead and have some fun and get on into the season, man. So, let us know, man. You said you've been a diehard Browns fan for life. You're, unfortunately, fans in the stands, which sucks. Or else you'd be there for sure with your season tickets.
Yeah.
But I guess, I guess this is what it is. But regardless, man, this team, every year, for the last 3 years, I'm going to be right with you, Michael. Every year for the last 3 years, I've given this team the absolute best offseason grade, like an A+. And... well, you see what happens. And oh my gosh.
I mean, it's the life of a Cleveland Browns fan. Like, we're off-season camps, we're salary cap camps, the year we went 0-16, we also went 4-0 in the preseason. So, it just goes to show you, maybe without preseason this year, maybe we start out the season with a win. Since they've, and I hate to keep going back there, but since they've been back since '99, I believe they only have one win to start out the season 1-0.
Oh, that's crazy, man.
So we're always starting out with just an awful loss. Last year I would say after week 1 was definitely like that was pretty low as Browns fans. It's just one thing after the other as far as the Browns fans go, and I would say looking at the season this year with the schedule that they actually have in place, believe it or not, I think it's a very manageable schedule. Obviously you're starting out with 2 division opponents, the Ravens and the Bengals. The Ravens are going to be the Ravens, but like I said last year, our best game was played at the Ravens. I look at the schedule and I kind of go about it, and I want to be very optimistic. At the same time, I also want to be very cautious. I look at our team. I look at what we have. I also look that we have a lot of key injuries at the defensive backfield and our linebackers as well. Mac Wilson's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. He's going to be a key. We also had to replace one of our better linebackers this past off season. That it kind of really hurt for me to see basically the heart and core of our defense in Joe Schobert go away. Joe Schobert basically was a man amongst boys out there sometimes on defense last year, and now he's in Jacksonville. So, I know we didn't have Christian Kirksey last year because he was hurt all season, but Joe Schobert's going to have to step up, and Joe Schobert's going to be done. So, we're going to have someone step up in that linebacker position, and right now, from what I've been hearing, Taki, who he's going to have to step up, and so is B.J. Goodson, which I did not expect B.J. Goodson to have to step up this early. I thought Mac Wilson was definitely going to be our starting middle linebacker, and so I I look at it right now, and I actually think that Jacob Phillips, our draft pick from LSU, the linebacker, he may actually be a starter this year as well. The one thing that makes our defense go is Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett being back, I think that's going to help our defense hell of a lot than it has in the past. I also think that Vernon plays better when Garrett is there, and obviously Ogunjobi definitely plays better when Myles Garrett is in there. I mean, Ogunjobi was a sack machine along with Myles Garrett because they were having double Myles Garrett, and Ogunjobi was one-on-one, and he was dominating his guy. I also think that our defense, being a 4-3 defense this year, it's really going to help us out as well. I mean, the 4-down linemen, I think that Sheldon Richardson is going to have a breakthrough year on the defensive line. But once again, who's going to step up in the linebackers? I mean, our corners are great. Denzel Ward's great. Brady Williams is great. They're very injury-prone. Carl Joseph, obviously, we've talked about him a little bit. And then we have a new acquiring from that Kevin Stefanski should know pretty well, who's going to start as our free safety, Andrew Sanjeo from Minnesota. He's been with the Vikings before. I'm just very interested to see how he pans out. He's never been really much in a starting role, so this is going to be new territory for him. It's unfortunate what happened with Grant Delpit because I thought Delpit was going to be great. But the other thing is, Sheldrick Redwine, I think he could be a guy who has just 5 interceptions this year. This defense excelled. The other thing is, on the other side of the ball, obviously, we have the big question mark: is Baker Mayfield going to have a breakout season? If Baker Mayfield has a breakout season this year, then this team will be fine. I think it hinges on Baker Mayfield. I think that Nick Chubb's going to do Nick Chubb stuff. I think if Nick Chubb runs the ball 25 times a game and Baker Mayfield completes 65% of his passes, I think 9-7 is very realistic in my mind. Granted, it's the NFL, it's also the Browns, so we could also end up going 6-10. And, I mean, most games, it comes down to the wire in the NFL, and if you get the breaks, then you're going to have plenty of wins under your hat. And just in the past years, it feels like the Browns have found all kinds of new ways to lose. So the one thing that I do find key here is I do feel like, and this has really hurt us in the past, but I do feel like we found a kicker. I think Austin Siebert is a great kicker. I know he's just a few extra points here and there. But, I mean, overall, there have been games where we have lost in the past where our kickers missed 3 field goals during the game. The other key thing is, touching on special teams, I mean, we have the Scottish Hammer, and he is just, Jamie Gillian is just, he's a man. I mean, he could probably go in there and play linebacker for us if we need to.
I'll tell you what.
But overall, I would say we are going to be 9-7. That would be my overall guess.
Well, you just made my job a whole lot easier tonight because you segued right into that last segment, man. So that was awesome. And you know what, man? That's realistic with this team. Let's see if they can do it now, man. But awesome job, man. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, y'all, Michael Cozy, awesome job, man. Dude, thank you so much for stopping by tonight. But we have one more segment, man. You ready for this?
Yep. Go right ahead.
All right. We have one more segment for the night, man, or for the day, because this was recorded last night. But once again, today's show. So, this little segment we like to call Stick It To 'Em. And this segment is very simple. You have 3 other teams in your division that you're probably not too fond of. And this little segment right here is cut out just for you to talk about them. You already talked about the Browns. Now, you can be respectful. You can be mean and nasty. You can be however you want to be. Mean and ugly. However you want to be. Have fun. And let us know how you think those other 3 teams are going to do this season. Without further ado, Michael, stick it to them.
So, you know what? I'll start out with the Ravens. I'd love to say to all your fan base, I hope nothing but you guys having a bad, I mean, cannot think of a worse fan base. Oh, but there is the Pittsburgh Steelers, so they are much worse than the Ravens. But as far as the Ravens go, I think you guys are overrated. I think that Lamar Jackson has been found out. I think people are going to force him to throw the ball this year, and I think the Titans showed us the recipe how to beat you guys. I think you guys are going to have a very down season. I'd love to say something about the guys down the road, way south in southern Ohio, called the Bengals, but, I mean, you guys went 2-14 last year. Yeah, you beat us, but we had kind of folded in on the season at that point. I mean, I watched the game. We didn't show up. I think you guys think that you guys are always so good and so great, and you guys are just going to be the next best thing. And unfortunately, it's going to be a long haul. I don't think Joey Burrow is going to be your savior. And I think that soon down the road, A.J. Green will be looking for a new team. And Joe Mixon, you guys just invested in a running back. I know we're going to throw money at Nick Chubb, but Nick Chubb is a lot better than Joe Mixon is. And then finally, last but not least, I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think there's anything good I could say about the organization. Here's the thing. I do respect the organization. You guys have always been winners. But you're getting old. You're getting tired. You're kind of trying to bring in Mason Rudolph as your next great quarterback. Please keep Mason Rudolph as your next great quarterback, because for years to come, we will run the division if you have Mason Rudolph as your quarterback and Lamar Jackson as the Ravens quarterback, because both, I think, are not very good. And I would just like to say to the Pittsburgh Steelers, good luck down the road. And when your team is 6-10, 5-11, 4-12, year in and year out, I'm not going to see many of you or hear from many of you, because you will not exist as fans. And that's coming from the greatest fan base in the world, the Cleveland Browns, to probably one of the worst fan bases in the world, the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are spoiled year in and year out. And wait till you have a loser. You will not follow your team. I know how you are.
Man, I hit the applause button, dude. Oh, my God. That is what Stick It To Him is all about, and you literally stuck it to him, man. That was great. I mean, hey, I'll tell you right now, when you get tagged in the show, you're probably going to hear a few things from those other fans.
Yep, absolutely.
But that is awesome, man. It's all in love, man. At the end of the day, man, it's all in fun. Football brings us together, and that's what it's all about, dude. So I'll tell you what, man, Michael Cozy, that was awesome, dude. Thank you so much for stopping by tonight on today's show. And last but not least, man, go ahead, plug yourself. Let everybody, all these diehard Browns fans, know the Dog Pound, where they can find you on Twitter, and where they can follow you, any publications you do, or anything you may do, man. Go ahead, and the floor is yours.
Yeah, so I just have a Twitter account. It's at RealMindOfCozy. You can definitely follow me and check me out. I mostly tweet about sports. Definitely a diehard Browns fan, diehard Buckeyes fan. Anything you kind of want to know about Buckeyes and Browns, definitely follow me. I will try and give an opinion sometimes. You're more than welcome to reach out and give your opinion back to me. I will definitely try and reply to you.
Well, there you have it. Once again, y'all, Mr. Michael Cozy, dude, thank you so much for being on today's show. I really appreciate it, man. We look forward to having you back for some primetime face-offs. I'll tell you what those are soon. Those are going to be a lot of fun, man. And definitely we definitely got to keep in touch, and we got to keep you back on the show, man, because that was awesome. And it's always awesome associated with other diehards. You know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely, Larry. And hey, have a great rest of your evening.
Hey, thank you, sir. You have a great rest of your evening. Take care, man. God bless you and your family. Have a wonderful rest of the evening, man. We'll talk to you soon, all right?
Yep, absolutely. And hey, go Bucks, and as always, go Browns.
There we go. All right, brother. Take care, man.
Bye.
Bye. All righty. Once again, that was Michael Cozy. Awesome stuff there, man. Great guy. Definitely a lot of fun talking to him on that interview. Well, we have The Bengals and the Browns all wrapped up and finished. The state of Ohio in the AFC North, is all done. And now we're heading on over a little more east to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and lastly to Baltimore, Maryland. Who will this division belong to? These fans are hyped up. They're ready to go. We got 2 more to go, y'all. Be ready. Next up, we got those Steelers, y'all. Be ready to rock and roll. Here we go, Steelers. You're listening to 3 and Out, 8 Division 8 Days. AFC South Day on the conclusion of AFC Week. Right here on IE Sports Radio. Your direct feed for all that is sports. Be right back after this.
Motorsports takes many forms, and there's one show on IE Sports Radio that's ready to cover it all.
I sure hope you're talking about you and I, Daryl, because I know the Extra Mile is the best place to go for everything motorsports related.
Yes, it is. From NASCAR to IndyCar to sports cars to everything in between, IE Sports Radio has everything covered for the fastest sport in the world.
Plus, don't forget all of our random shenanigans along the way.
That's right, Caitlin. So for plenty of motorsports coverage and plenty of Caitlinisms, check out the Extra Mile on IE Sports Radio with Daryl Kinsey Jr. and Caitlin Seen, Thursdays at 8 p.m.
What's up, everybody? This is Taryn Rodriguez. Are you a fan of volleyball? Are you a fan of Thunderous Spikes? Then I have the show for you. Set Point, where I cover NCAA men's and women's volleyball, high school boys and girls volleyball, beach volleyball, and even professional volleyball. Catch the action every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
That's right, y'all. Right back at it. Well, our booking agent, Mr. Jonathan Griggy, told me that tea, honey, and cinnamon would do the trick. And honestly, my throat is feeling a little bit better. Yeah, now that I'm drinking it. So thanks again, Jonathan, for the tip, brother. Alrighty. With that said, we have here the Bengals and the Browns in the books. But coming up next, as I mentioned, you'll need to get hyped and get ready for this one, man. This is probably one of the most informative yet entertaining interviews we'll probably have on all of 8 Division 8 days. Why? Because this man is so damn diehard. Raw emotion just always comes out. And that is awesome. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, here to talk some Steelers. Here we go, Steelers. He is, of course, die-hard Steelers fan. An absolute 100%. Did I mention 100% yet? Yes, right. 100% Steel City man. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to bring on the defending Dynasty Bowl Fantasy Football Champion. He made his own trophy. We got to get those made. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Hames. What's going on, brother?
Hey, Larry B. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing great, but how you doing, man?
Good. Just living the dream here. I got the Steelers roster here, so I can get my facts straight for the show here. I'm looking for that keyboard warrior Ravens fan from last year. He's probably in his basement typing up articles, making excuses for Lamar Jackson choking in the playoffs again. But I see he's not on the show this year. Obviously, who would want to be after trying to come against me last year? So,
was that your primetime face-off or no?
No, he was on this 3 and Out segment last year. I don't know who he was. Some guy who got his Ravens articles or whatever. Who knows what he's doing?
Well, I'll tell you what, man. You
And Captain Obvious's predictions are so bad he can't even come on the show anymore.
Oh, man. Well, I warned Bangalorian. I don't think I mentioned it to Cozy. But Scott Scholl, Ravens fan, is coming up after you to conclude the show. I think it's known, man, in the universe of football, Matthew Hames don't play.
No, and I listened to the interview from the Bengals guy that you had on here, and that wasn't bad. I enjoyed that, actually. Like it sounded like he knew his stuff, and I actually enjoyed that. Not too unrealistic. So,
well, you know what? There you go, man. And hey, he even invited you to come have a beer with him at a game. You heard that?
I missed that part, but I will have that. Okay, all right. When COVID's over, I'll do that.
Hey, that'd be awesome. I'd love to join you guys. Man, that was pretty sweet. Definitely awesome stuff. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Hames is not this pit bull that'll go off on you. Matt Hames loves good, realistic football. At the end of the day, you know what? That is a great thing. So, here to give it to you in a realistic way, we have Matt here today. So, first things first, man, no introduction needed from you being a true diehard, because we already know. I think the listeners here on 3 and Out already know how much of a diehard you are. So, let's jump into last season, man. Last season, give it to us. What were your thoughts on the entire Steelers season from start to finish, every raw emotion you had?
Dude, it honestly sucked for being a Steelers fan. I mean, I didn't miss a game. I spent the money, on the NFL Sunday ticket. I was ready to go. I thought a good year was coming, and all of it just came crashing down pretty early, actually, in the season, with Ben Roethlisberger tearing those tendons in his elbow. I guess if your season's going to come crashing down, it's better to do it in week 2, though, instead of like week 8 when you're in the middle of a playoff race. At least you can kind of see the writing on the wall from that point. Which, by the way, everyone needs to check out. Ben Roethlisberger's got like a 4-part documentary coming out. I think it's on part 2 just came out yesterday, showing his rehab. And there's a lot of like quotes from the media, NFL Network, ESPN, it's playing quotes basically blaming Big Ben for what happened with Antonio Brown and whatnot. So basically, like, he's listening to the haters and the motivators. It's kind of fun. You'll have to watch that. It's kind of interesting because I think those guys are all clowns. Everybody said it was Ben's fault that Antonio Brown went out, and I know that was last year's deal. But we've all kind of seen what's going on with Antonio Brown right now, and hopefully he gets the help he needs. But it's funny that when Antonio Brown stuff all came out, that he was kind of going off the wall, that everybody just kind of went quiet, but nobody really apologized to Ben for, blaming everything on him. But that's just my 2 cents on that. I won't get too much into it, but it's funny how the media likes to twist and turn that, but then when the facts come out, they don't really apologize for what they said. But so everybody check that out. It's kind of interesting. But anyway, so Ben went down and Mason Rudolph came in. I actually don't think he was as bad as a lot of people say he was. If you really actually watch the games, instead of just looking at it and seeing, oh, the Steelers lost again, he didn't get a lot of help. James Conner was injured for most of the year. I'm hoping for a bounce-back year this year because when he plays, he's pretty dominant. He's actually one of the better backs in the league when he plays. The problem is he just can't stay healthy. It's like he, pulls a toenail or something as soon as he gets on the field. It's crazy. But if he stays healthy, I think that's the key to their offense. Him and Ben. Rudolph got a lot of flack. I can tell you countless times that games that they lost, that wasn't Rudolph's fault. They play the 49ers. They lose at the end because James Conner fumbles the ball when the Steelers have the lead with like 3 minutes left. They play the Ravens. They're driving down the field to win the game. Juju fumbles the ball, which is not uncommon in a big-time situation. So there's the Steelers just got to get their heads on straight. And as big of a Steelers fan as I am, I try to play it realistic also. Juju needs to, get his head together and, actually start playing if he wants a big contract. And Yeah, pretty much just a lot of dysfunction last year. And then the Steelers eventually got they started to pull it together with Rudolph and everybody. I think they were 6 what did they start? 1-4, and then they ran off 5 or 6 straight because of their defense. Really, it was their defense. Their offense was doing them no favors. Eventually, it was remarkable that they got to 8-8, to be honest with you, which gives me high hope for this year with how bad their offense was, how high the ceiling can be if they can come together this year.
You know, it sucks that you had to spend the money on Sunday ticket and the whole bit, but at the end of the day, you're a diehard man, and it sucks when your team just doesn't meet expectations, but absolutely, man. A team who was really just... There's so much that was from last year that just was just terrible, that there's so much reason to believe that you guys can come out this year and do great. And the crazy part is you guys were terrible last year and you weren't even that bad. You know what I mean? So that overall just says a lot about this team. And
worst quarterback play in the league was when Devlin Hodges took over. That was so bad.
You know,
and I don't know why people make excuses for him. If you actually watched all their games, it was terrible. You bring a blitz on him, he rolls to the right every time. He doesn't go to the left. Literally rolls to the right and throws the ball out of bounds, or throws an interception every single time.
Well, I'll tell you what, Duck was he had himself a rough go, and overall, I think everyone's just glad that Big Ben's back, you know, and ready. So here we go on to the off season, and we have here some departures, some big signings, and some guys we keep. So let's take a look here and take a look at it, courtesy of overthecap.com, and let's talk a little bit about these free agents, man. So we have here Vance McDonald staying awesome, great target for Big Ben, but definitely one of the best tight ends in the league, in my opinion. The guy is underrated, and he's a workhorse. Then you guys bring in another tight end, Eric Ebron, who is a freaking beast. This dude is actually really good, coming over from the Colts, and I'm really glad to see him in gold and black, or gold and yellow. I'm sorry. Yeah, black and yellow. Sorry. You guys are freakishly... You're going to have those two tight ends that I think are going to do really, really well. And then let's not forget, the departure of Nick Vannett going to the Broncos. But still, that was the point, I believe, of bringing Ebron in. Then you guys have Mark Barron heading on over to the Broncos. Anthony Chickalo heading to the Saints. You guys keep Bud Dupree, which is a good thing. BJ Finley will head on over to the Seahawks. R.D. Burns to the Bears. That was an interesting... I really want to hear what you guys say about that. Sean Davis head on over to the Washington football team. Steve Wisniewski will help beef up that offensive line now coming to the Steelers. Great fit for him, I think. You will have Curtis Riley coming over from the Raiders. Chris Wormley coming over from the Ravens on the defensive line. And overall, I think Derek Watt coming on over to play with his brother is going to be awesome from the Chargers. And, okay, so that's pretty much all I want to hit on. But, and Hargrave. That was pretty big, too. Heading on over, it is, however you want to think about it. But Javon Hargrave heading on over to the Eagles. So, with that said, man, the floor is yours. Let us know, what do you think? Who are the biggest departures, biggest signings, and who do you think can make an immediate impact on this team?
Just to keep it short and sweet, where do I even begin with that one? Mark Barron's a scrub, dude. He can't cover anybody. Maybe 5 years ago. That's sometimes I have a problem with Mike Tomlin a little bit. Not all the time, but he signs these veteran players, and for whatever reason, I don't know if he feels bad for them or wants to give them a shot, but there's no reason. And any Steelers fan will tell you that Mark Barron should have even saw the field after week 3. He can't cover anybody. He's leaving dudes wide open. They drafted Devin Bush last year, and they have Vince Williams. It was Vince Williams and Barron starting at the 2 linebackers, and I think they were just trying to get Devin Bush ready to take over that spot, which he did towards the end of the year. I think they were just trying to get him accustomed to the NFL speed, but I would have rather just seen Devin Bush anyway, and let him learn by fire instead of having Mark Barron leave tight ends wide open all over the field. So I'm glad that he's gone. I saw just the other day he signed with Denver, so good luck. The biggest departure, though, is Hargrave by far. He was a monster, man, and I knew that in the back of my mind that we were never going to be able to keep him and Dupree. The Steelers are very tight on the cap with a lot of the contracts that they have, and they have a potential Juju contract coming up this year, TJ Watt coming up, and Minkah Fitzpatrick coming up. I think Juju is actually going to be a cap casualty next year. That's my prediction, why they keep drafting wide receivers. But yeah, Hargrave, he signed pretty much either day one or day two with the Eagles, and there was absolutely no way they were going to be able to keep him. At the time, it might have been surpassed, but the Eagles actually gave Hargrave the highest paid contract ever for a defensive tackle, so there was nothing Pitt could have done about that. And I think that'll be a big loss for them. They're going to try and fill it a bunch of different ways. Their defense is stacked other than that defensive tackle position, so I'm not exactly sure how they're going to address that. They could put Cam Hayward in a little bit at defensive tackle and slide Dupree over at D end, and then letting Highsmith, that third round draft pick that they just drafted, get him a little bit at outside linebacker. I'm interested to see what they do with that. I predict that Cam Hayward's probably going to play a little bit of defensive tackle, but they also have Tyson Alualu, first round pick. I don't know, 10 years ago for the Jaguars. He's still, they've got him, and he plays okay. I mean, he's not terrible, but not great either. So we'll see if he can get the job done. They traded for Chris Wormley from the Ravens, and very rare, inter-division trade. So they got him to kind of, rotate in there. So I guess it'll just kind of be like next man up type situation. Who they brought in, Eric Ebron. I like that signing a lot. I really think they are trying to load up on offense for Big Ben, give him one last run. If everybody stays healthy, I think it's going to be more of a run offense with two tight ends. When they do go three wide, it'll, Juju, Deontay Johnson, and James Washington there. But don't count out Chase Claypool. They're basically their second-round draft pick. He's been getting rave reviews. He's 6'4" out of Notre Dame. So they went and got Big Ben some targets for the red zone with Ebron, Chase Claypool, Vance McDonald is there still. But I think they're just loading up their offense to give Ben one last run, really. I'll probably say his name wrong, but I know who I'm talking about. You mentioned him too, that Winkowski or whatever. They got him from Kansas City to play guard. So I think they're just really loading up on offense. The defense really didn't have a lot of changes other than Hargrave. But I still think they're one of the top defenses in the NFL with Hayden and Minkah Fitzpatrick, TJ Watt, Bud Dupree. It'll probably be Bud Dupree's last year. They put him on the franchise tag. And I don't know if they're going to be able to afford him. Like I said, they have a lot of contracts coming up. So a lot of tough decisions. So this gap that they have to win a Super Bowl is basically now.
And you know what? That is, I mean, hey, what better time than now? I mean, you guys have done this before. We've seen Steelers teams who are good, but maybe not projected, and they still find a way to win it. So this team is used to that historically, and you guys really do have in my opinion, a really strong team every year. And then, so I think, Wisniewski's going to be a big pickup for that offensive line. And it's just going to be, I think, honestly, you guys are going to have a pretty good season this year. So, moving on over to the draft. We talked about it already. A big pickup this year, Minkah Fitzpatrick, of course. You guys trading away at first and the fifth. And, of course, Nick Vannett. And then we have here, second-round pick, Chase Claypool. Amazing athlete. This guy, Senior Bowl practice. Guys everywhere doing great things. He really stood out in the Senior Bowl and a Senior Bowl practice week, and he stood out in Notre Dame. He's a great player. Great pickup for you guys. And then we have here Alex Highsmith, linebacker out of Charlotte. Anthony McFarland Jr., of course, Anthony McFarland Jr. out of Maryland at running back. Kevin Dotson, offensive lineman out of Louisiana Lafayette. Antoine Brooks Jr. Antoine Brooks Jr., safety out of Maryland. And Carlos Davis, defensive tackle out of Nebraska. Okay, so we all know that, some of these guys can wash. Some of these guys maybe not make the roster. But I think you already mentioned it with Chase Claypool. But any other of these guys you think could be an impact on this team? Or do you think...
Yeah,
go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, Larry B. I thought that was the question. Claypool, I think is going to be more of a red zone target this year, but next year I think is when he's really going to explode, when Juju, and my prediction, is going to be gone after next year. He'll probably end up in one of those Bay Area teams, maybe the Raiders. Just throwing that out there because he's a California boy. Maybe the 49ers, they need wide receiver help, and they don't seem to care to spend money. So, I think Chase Claypool next year is when he'll take off, other than in the red zone. They want big bodies in there for the red zone, and he's had a good camp. It was kind of funny when the draft was going on. I did not expect them to take Chase Claypool at all because they have Deontay Johnson, who's my breakout player for the year, actually. They love him. They have James Washington as a deep threat. They got Juju in the slot. I thought we were going J.K. Dobbins there. I really did, and I was so flippin' happy, ecstatic. Of course, the flippin' Ravens end up with Dobbins, which I was not happy about. But then they took Claypool, and when it happened, I was like, what the hell? I mean, completely honest with you, I had to get on Twitter and see what everybody else was saying, and they were also not happy about it. They'll deny it now, but they weren't. Nobody really knew what was going on there, why they took another wide receiver, but it makes sense when you really think about it, and they don't have much cap room, and then they're kind of playing for next year with Claypool, which will be good. He's a big target. Highsmith, also a guy, I figured they'd go linebacker there. I didn't think him, but apparently he's had an awesome camp too. They're grooming him to take Dupree's spot next year, so he'll be on the other side of Watt when they can't afford Dupree anymore after this year. And then Anthony McFarland Jr., I really like him kind of as a third down back. I'm still not exactly sure he could be an every down starter. If they were to lose James Conner after this year, who's also in a contract year, I think they had Benny Snell Jr. out of Kentucky from last year, who showed promise. I think he's more of the three or the early down back. But McFarland is going to be good on third downs, on screens, maybe kick return, punt return. He's very elusive as a back, and so those three are the ones that I really think will make an impact. And then obviously their first round pick was Minkah Fitzpatrick, is what I like to say, and I think he was better than anybody they would have gotten at that position. He completely transformed that defense once they got him last year. Absolutely. You guys are freakishly good. I mean, that defense is going to be nasty again. We already know it. You guys specialize in defense. I mean, it is just... It sucks about Bud Dupree, doesn't it? Like, I really wish he could stay there. Yeah, I do. I was frustrated with him for years and years and years because he's this athletic freak. Just workout warrior in the gym. I mean, when they drafted him, they knew it was going to be a minute before he developed, and it finally took him until last year where he finally turned it on. He'd been good. I mean, he wasn't great, but he'd been good the first 3 years with the Steelers, but not, earth-bending. But then last year, it literally just out of nowhere, he finally turned it on. If he didn't have the year that he had last year, he'd be somewhere else, to be honest with you. They wouldn't have re-signed him. But then he finally put it together. And there's a part of me that, and I am trying to get into the minds of the Steelers. There's a part of me that wonders if they think that he is replaceable because they have T.J. Watt. Like, is Bud Dupree getting single blockers because T.J. Watt's commanding 2 to 3 guys on the other side, and they think that they can just throw anybody right there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm happy for Bud Dupree, though. It's more than likely his last year there, though. He's going to get paid next year. And I guess we'll see how he does with another team after this year. I know I'm predicting far into the future, but they won't be able to afford him with unless Ben retires after he wins the Super Bowl this year and they can save some money. They won't be able to afford him.
That's such a bummer, man. Cap room sucks, but at the end of the day, it's true. I mean, what do you think a likely landing spot for Bud Dupree would be?
Oh, man, I've never actually thought of that before, to be honest with you. Chicago could make a run. They like to throw a lot of money. To be honest, I'd have to think about that one, Larry. Maybe New England. Their defense has gotten a little bit decimated with people opting out for COVID and whatnot this offseason. So I guess it'll be interesting for them next year. But I could see New England making a run. Chicago seems like love to spend money on defensive guys. I don't think the Ravens could afford him. Maybe the Bengals, someone like that. Cleveland and Baltimore, I don't think that they would be able to afford him either. He's going to get paid. Whether a lot of that is because of T.J. Watt or not, he is going to get paid, Bud Dupree. And I'm interested to see what happens when he does get paid, to see if he can have the same contribution that he had in Pittsburgh without T.J. Watt commanding all he does on the other side.
I agree. And, there's something that I got to ask you, man, because this was I don't want to say a big topic, but I saw a video on YouTube in the offseason. I know there was some talk about it here and there. But ultimately, we know that Cam Newton ended up in New England. Now, sorry about that. Now, here's the thing. There was maybe some buzz in the offseason that Cam Newton, his best fit might be a Steeler. Now, of course, we know Big Ben is there. No one's taking his spot. But he could have been a backup. Now, we know Cam Newton wouldn't have wanted that. But regardless, everyone said that it made the most sense, or at least the video I watched, and it does really it made a lot of sense that, big body quarterback, mobile guy, he would fit in well. Now, do you feel that if Tom Brady would have stayed, and Cam Newton, of course, on his way out from the Panthers, do you personally think that there would have been any type of, maybe even a discussion with the front office about acquiring Cam Newton as a backup to try and see, of course, I don't think he would do it whatsoever, but do you think at all that there would be any kind of consideration? And you as a fan, what would you personally say about that as well?
Knowing just how the Steelers kind of operate, just by watching them over the years, I don't know if that was started by just the Pittsburgh local media or those dingbats over at what are they? Are Pro Football Focus, dude? Those guys drive me absolutely bonkers. By the way, not Peter King, he's all right, but Mike Florio, dude, I literally, those guys say the dumbest stuff on there. And the other day they were saying Fournette was gonna, the best spot to go to was the Steelers, and I'm like, dude, you guys are a joke, man. You guys will say anything on there, and I'm sure they're probably the ones that started that whole thing to go, Cam Newton to Pittsburgh. But there's when have the Steelers ever brought somebody in that potentially had a little bit of baggage or goes in the media, and I don't mind Cam. This is not a shot at Cam, it's just his personality. But when have they ever, well, besides Antonio Brown, look what happened to him, but they tried to control it as much as they could. But when have they really brought a free agent in that's been like a me guy? And that's kind of what I consider Cam to be. I don't really know if he's really for the team or a lot of it's for his own stats. Just my own personal opinion. Right. Everybody has their opinion, but I mean, when you watched him in Carolina in the goal line, did he call his own number a lot of the time, or did he actually hand it off to McCaffrey? Because I would say he wanted his own, touchdown stats and things like that. So I don't know. I don't know if they actually would have signed him. I know they kicked the tires around a little bit on James Winston, or at least that's what the reports said. I don't know if there was really any truth to that, and he decided to go to New Orleans. But for whatever reason, and the Steelers have had multiple chances to address the quarterback position, whether it be Cam Newton, whether it be Jameis Winston, whether it be drafting a guy, because there was a lot of people they could have drafted this year. They think that Mason Rudolph could potentially develop into an NFL starter. Not Duck, but they They continue to say that they believe in Mason. They go out in interviews and say it all the time. So they still think Mason, which they spent a third-round pick on him 2 years ago, so maybe that's why they're hoping he can work out. And to me, it's like 50-50. Mason, he'll go out there and he'll sort of light the world up a little bit. Like, all of his film is not bad, and then, sometimes you watch him and he's out there making, brain-crazy throws, and you don't know what he's really doing. And, sometimes I think that comes with being just a young quarterback in the NFL and not getting a ton of reps that, a normal starter would get, just getting thrown into the fire. So we'll see, but they seem to think that Mason can be the heir apparent to Ben, and I guess we'll find out.
Well, that's not a bad idea. By the way, Taryn, sorry, man. I know you were putting comments in the air, but my app on my phone was being kind of weird, so I could restart it. But actually some good stuff here from Taryn. Taryn says here, still can't believe the Chargers lost to Duck Hodges. Shake my head. I'm shaking my head. I hope the Steelers, the Cowboys this year, or beat the Cowboys this year, I think is what he's saying. I have a friend who's a Cowboy fan who called Juju Smith-Schuster poo-poo Miss Schuster. Oh, my gosh. Steelers by 100 against them boys. Oh, my gosh. Okay, so then he says, Anthony McFarland, a.k.a. Booger McFarland II. And then he says here, I thought Fournette to Steelers was stupid as well. They have James Conner. So, what do you think personally when you heard that yourself? I mean, were you extremely fast to dismiss Fournette to the Steelers?
No, I knew it wasn't going to happen. I knew. I even sent a couple tweets out about it. Like, literally, I sent tweets out to any Steelers fan that follows me or whatever, and I literally said that it's no chance in hell that the Steelers are going to sign Fournette. Now, do I think Fournette is a good... So that's the part where I think my tone gets a little bit of the best of me sometimes, because I actually dig Fournette. I had him on my fantasy football team last year. I think he gets a lot of bad rep from the media. Obviously, I'm just over here behind my computer. I don't know him in the locker room or anything, and there's reports that he can be kind of a bad teammate. But I mean, I've seen bad teammate. That's Antonio Brown. I haven't seen Fournette have anything like that. So, I mean, everyone, people say he's a bad teammate, this and that, but you never really hear the reports of what he actually did to make him a bad teammate. So I don't know. I like Fournette. I think I think the Jags are just a total, cluster, to be honest with you. I mean, I saw a thing the other day. I'd have to look it up again. Like from, they had a top 5 pick from 2012 to 2017, and not a single one of them are with the team anymore. I mean, they're just a total, who knows, they traded Jalen Ramsey, A.J. Boye. They were dominant, man, and they've lost everybody. How do you go through that much turnover of that good of a team? They passed on drafting Mahomes because they had Blake Bortles. I mean, they're just making crazy decisions over there in Jacksonville. So I feel bad for Fournette a little bit. I actually think he's a good back, but I knew that Pitt wasn't going to sign him because just kind of like how they stick with Big Ben and Mason Rudolph, and they praise James Conner, and they have had so many opportunities to address the running back position. J.K. Dobbins was there for 2 rounds. I mean, they could have drafted J.K. Dobbins twice, and they passed on him and let him basically go to Baltimore, and he would have been huge for them. They've had just, that's pretty much my only statement about it is I would have loved Fournette to come to Pittsburgh. I think he could have been a good 1-2 punch with Conner, but at the same time I knew they weren't going to do it, and I was sending tweets out about it that they're not going to. They could have gotten younger, cheaper, and probably better options in Dobbins in the draft, and they didn't do it then. So why would they do it now? Right.
And that makes all the sense in the world. So we have a little harsh comment here in the chat room from our very own Marcus Loves Great. He says James Conner is average at best. What do you got to say about that, Matt?
Well, I mean, if I need to, give me a minute, and I'll probably not on here, but I can go pull some stats if I need to. Who's his team?
He is a Niner.
He's a Niners fan. Well, I guess I can't really say anything at that because, the Niners, with Mason Rudolph playing his first NFL game, starting it, the Steelers had them on the ropes until James Conner screwed it up in the final 2 minutes. But, fumbled the ball after they were trying to put the game away. But, I mean, when James Conner plays, I actually think he's pretty good. He's not Zeke and he's not Kamara, but I think he's a, middle-tier NFL running back. But he can't stay healthy. That's his problem. I mean, the tape is out there. He's good when he's healthy, but when that is his biggest problem is staying healthy. He played against Buffalo last year, I believe the whole game. I went on the primetime face-off there with Dee, I believe.
Yeah.
I think I still follow her. Yeah, she's a Bills fan, and she's pretty cool, by the way. But James Conner played that game, and he was pretty dominant in that game. And the Bills' defense is pretty legit. But then he just gets hurt, in the fourth quarter or the next game. He just can't stay healthy. So this is a big year for him. If he can't stay healthy again, I don't know who's going to give him a shot in the NFL again. He's in a contract year. If he gets hurt again, I don't know who's going to sign him or take a chance. And I hate to bring this up, but it's actually been brought up a lot. I don't know if he's just kind of like made of glass because of because everybody knows that he went through cancer treatments and he overcame cancer. So I don't know if his bones are just not as good as they should be, or I don't know if that makes sense. But people have brought that up before, that they wonder if going through the chemo treatments and that type of thing affect his durability. But I mean, that's just me saying it. Other people have said it too. I don't know, but he does get injured pretty often.
Well, that's something, man. I'll tell you right now. Overall, this has been a great discussion, and right now, I'll tell you right now, these Steelers. I mean, the history is there, man. There's probably been seasons where you were like, you know what, this team's going to be good, but maybe not that great, and you guys end up making a freaking ridiculous run. I mean, right? Come on, man. Like, am I the only one who sees that with the Steelers, or no?
No, including last year until the very, very, very end of the game. They were, I think it was actually week 17. They were going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Until they lost in week 17. They had no business being in the playoffs. They take pride in being in that Steelers winning culture from over the years, and they, even though when they shouldn't win games, they somehow do. They, rise to the occasion. And I'm not being a Steelers. Excuse me there. I'm not trying to be a Steelers homer on this one. I actually do think that they could, with Ben, if he stays healthy, can contend for a Super Bowl this year. Lamar Jackson's not going to have the year that he had last year. I'm so sick and tired of all these Ravens fans, dude, and these Lamar Jackson fans. There's no way he can. Look what happened to Kaepernick and some of these other rushing quarterbacks when they try to play this high school offense. Teams are going to figure it out. The Titans figured it out. The Steelers, the first time they played the Ravens, figured it out. Lamar Jackson had a terrible game. I've done a video, like a 30-minute video, breaking down those games when you can get pressure on Lamar Jackson. But when you have to have a good defense, but if you can, not blitz and have a good front seven, Lamar Jackson does not play as well when you develop a game plan to stop him. And it's been out there. The Titans made him look silly. It's all on game film on YouTube as well. I mean, I've had arguments with people, I know this is totally off subject, that told me that, the Ravens offense just couldn't, their defense didn't, help them out. And so that basically the Ravens defense couldn't help them against the Titans. And that's why they lost that game. Just totally taking the blame off Lamar Jackson. I went and watched it again this offseason. They had all the chances in the world. They failed on 4th and 1 twice. Lamar Jackson's overthrowing people for interceptions. Like, these Lamar Jackson, homers are out of control, man. He's not going to have as good of a year as he had last year. And the Steelers are going to win this damn division.
Man, you know what? There we go. I don't even got to ask you to give your final weigh in. I mean, Steelers win it. That's what you got for this year, right? That's how you think they're going to do this year?
Yeah, I think the Ravens, it's going to be a close division, I actually think. Bengals are better. I'm not going to sit here and deny it. And I'm very afraid of the Bengals when Ben retires. I think the Bengals are eventually going to take that division over. It might take them 2 to 3 years, but I think they're going to take that division over with Burrow and Mixon and Boyd. And, I mean, they're putting together a serious offense there. Cleveland, you never know what you're going to get out of them. I could see them just this year at least competing for the division title. but I think it goes Pitt winning the division, Baltimore, Cleveland, and then Cincinnati. Cincinnati's still probably 2 years away. They need a couple more pieces, but, man, they're going to be scary in a few years. I'll sit here and tell you that.
Well, that's going from a true diehard, man. So, with that said, you kind of already touched on it a little bit, but we'd love to have a little bit of fun. That was pretty respectful, in my opinion. If you want to reiterate any of that, or if you just want to call it and say that was, you're sticking to them. But why not, man? Let's have a little bit of fun. Matt, coming up this year, man, just 3 teams in this division, of course, that you just, don't like too much, but you definitely got the respect for them. At the end of the day, man, your rivals is what it is. So this year, man, how do you think the rest of your division is going to do? And without further ado, stick it to them.
Steelers are going to go 12-4. Ravens will go 10-6. Browns, I'll go either 9-7 or 8-8. And then Browns will probably be. I'm sorry, the Browns. Did I say that? Yeah, Browns will probably go 7-9 or 8-8 again. Mayfield will be in trouble after this year. After he has another mediocre year with all the weapons that they have, because they really should be winning the division, the Browns. It shouldn't be the Steelers or the Ravens.
Yeah.
The Browns have so much talent, but Baker Mayfield has got to get that together. Bengals, like I said, probably still 2 to 3 years away, maybe just 2 years away. So I think they go 5-11 this year, maybe even 4-12. Ravens will be battling with the Browns, though, man. I'm telling you, they have everybody under this, mysterious trap or whatever, thinking that they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. Look at Colin Kaepernick. Everybody thought he was, and not talking about anything post NFL, so nobody jump on me for that. But when he was in the NFL, he ran that high school gimmick offense. I'm pretty sure the same offensive coordinator that was with the Niners is the offensive coordinator with the Ravens, Greg Roman, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty positive. Teams will figure this out. And I like Lamar Jackson as a person, I actually do. But this whole Ravens bandwagon has gotten totally under control, and I'm here to stop it. If I got to lead the train myself, I will.
Well, then there it is, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Matthew Hames. Dude, it is always great talking football with you, man. Definitely.
Hey, thank you, Larry B.
Absolutely, man. Glad to have you aboard. I still owe you a Madden game, so you'll more than likely beat me. What can I say? The dude does his thing, man. He's a hell of a Madden player. And he's the defending Dynasty Bowl 7 champion. We're going on to Dynasty Bowl 8 coming up this year. Matt, we're getting ready to set our draft time and everything for Saturday sometime. But we'll let you know as soon as we get it, I'll put it in the group and see if everybody can vote on a good time. But, dude, it is awesome. You are going to control one of the 2 teams inside of the Dynasty Bowl, either the Mean Machine or the Heavy Hitters, whichever one you'd like. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. We're gonna have ourselves a great season, and I think the Steelers will be a lot better this year. So with that said, Matt, the floor is yours, man. Let everybody know, all these Steelers fans know where they can find you on Twitter, any publications you may do, anything you may do, man. And please let everybody know where they can find you.
Hey, so I got my Twitter account at @real_Matt_H. I used to have my last name in there, but I changed it after. I'm not gonna lie, after we had a little Madden tournament in the off season there, things got a little bit heated.
Yeah.
Larry knows what I'm talking about, so I had to kind of go hide my personal stuff for a little while. People wanted to come find me. It was crazy. Then they're all up in my grill here, man. They can't take the heat, I guess. But I'll leave that at that. But they wanted to come find me in Pittsburgh. I don't even live in Pittsburgh, but it's fine. It's cool. And then I do fantasy football on the side. I've got my own little Twitter page for that at Fantasy Bro Pod. I like to consider myself the Fantasy Bro, where I give fantasy football advice, that type of thing from just over the years. So I'm really into that. If everybody wants to check that out, that's kind of what I got my heart into at the moment. So yeah, that's basically it. We all just have a lot of fun on here talking smack, and we just don't try to cross over the line, I guess. So nobody come and try to find me in Pittsburgh, because you won't get very far.
Oh, there you go, brother. With that said, man, I know it happens. It is what it is. We try to have fun doing that, and people get too damn serious, but whatever. But like I said, dude, we can still play for fun, you and I, no matter what. Marcus over here does play Madden as well, so maybe Steelers and Niners game would be kind of fun to watch. So on Twitch. But with that said, dude, thanks again for joining me today, man. I know we kept you over time, but it's a lot of fun talking to you, man. I love talking football with you. You're damn knowledgeable about this stuff, man. And seriously, thank you so much for making the time for us today, man. Really, thank you.
No problem at all, Larry B. Have a good rest of your show.
All right, brother, you too, man. Take care. God bless. Have a good one. I'll talk to you soon, man.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, y'all. That's going to do it, Mr. Matthew Hames. We have one more guest to go. One more team in the AFC. This tea and honey and cinnamon that Jonathan told me about at the beginning of the show is actually helping me. My voice feels a little bit better. But, yes, we have one more guest to go for the day. When we come back, we will finish off the AFC North as well as AFC Week with those Baltimore Ravens and a diehard Mr. Scott Scholl. Is going to be awesome. We're going to have a great time to the good conversation. Let's see what he says about all these comments about the Ravens today on this show. I cannot wait. With that said, y'all, you're listening to 3 and Out, 8 Divisions in 8 Days, AFC North Edition, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
What's good, fight fans? It's your boy, Marcus Los Great, here to give you what you want, here to give you what you need. Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm coming to you live, straight from your mama's basement with a crispy, awesome white tea. We are coming to you live every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey guys, it's Blake Henley, better known as H-Town Blake to some of you. Happy to announce that Bases Loaded is back in full force. We'll be bringing that high heat every Tuesday night here on IE Sports Radio. So come home, get ready, dig into that batter's box, and see if you can chase that high heat, baby. So we'll be coming to you live with all the stats, all the rundowns, all the division rivalries, and every team that's going to make the playoff push to get to that one and only October and get to the pinnacle of what baseball is, to hoist that Commissioner's Trophy when it's all said and done.
College football, and do you want to hear a college football show dedicated to all that is college football, including junior college and the CCCAA and the NJCAA, the NAIA, and the NCAA, including Division III, Division II, Division I AA in the FCS, and Division I Single A in the FBS? Well then look no further. Join myself, Larry B., and my colleagues, Mr. H-Town Blake, Blake Henley, and Mr. Christian Espinoza, each week during the college football season for the latest in college football on 3 and Out College Edition, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, hear me and hear me good. If you like sports, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like comedy, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like a different opinion coming from a different angle, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. So join me Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with your host, Jelani JB Bodie. And of course, my man Lopan on the waitaminuteshow.com. Ain't that right, Lopan?
Indeed, that was Lopan and Jelani JB Bodie. Make sure to hear Jelani, man. He does an amazing job. Him and Kylam. Let me just go ahead and say this real quick, y'all. Jelani and Kylam inside of our primetime face-offs, usually every Thanksgiving, for Saints and Falcons, is awesome. Like, if you've never heard a primetime face-off, that would be the one you got to go back and listen to, because it is great stuff, man. Like, these two guys go at it, but they always have a lot of fun. We always have a lot of fun with it. And, yeah, great stuff. But Jelani, man, great dude. He'll be on the show next week talking about his Atlanta Falcons. But make sure you go check him out, man. The Wait a Minute Show. Always a great show. Always a great time. I got to get over there myself. So, with that said, yo, we are now into the final team here of the evening, or of the afternoon. And I'm so glad that we can get him on the show. Man, me and this dude have been trying, or this dude and I have been trying to get an interview recorded since last Saturday. Ended up doing a family party with my girl on Saturday. Awesome. Ended up, again, we're busy on Sunday. Right back to it, man. We had a busy week. Helping my girl out with her homework and studying and doing all kinds of stuff and applying for all kinds of jobs and everything. Now that I got my master's and all this craziness going on, trying to figure out what the hell's going on with work and COVID and all this nonsense. And this dude, man, he's been awesome enough to stick around. We've been scheduling hit and miss. We've been playing kind of like Twitter tag, and I'm just so grateful, man. He's made time today during work, because how bad he wants to be on the show, and I'm so glad, because this is how bad I want him on the show too. I was like, man, we got to get him on here. Great dude. He's been in numerous primetime face-offs. I think he's done this segment before. It might have been last year, or it might be his first segment doing 8 Division 8 days. But regardless, ladies and gentlemen, so glad to have him here. The dude is the real deal, man. And that dude, without further ado, is the one, the only, Mr. Scott Show. What's going on, Scott? How you doing today, man?
Hey, not a whole lot, man. You know, I'm hanging in there. I have actually been on the show before. I was on 3 times last year, I believe.
Oh, no. I mean, yeah, you were on for the primetime face-off, but I'm talking about for this segment right here called 8 Divisions in 8 Days. I'm not sure if you've done this one yet.
Yeah, I've never done this segment. Nope.
Okay, yeah, you've definitely been in the battles, man. Those were fun. But this segment is always a lot of fun because we get to, just talk 100% Ravens football and get on into it, man. So we got to spend the next 30 minutes. Let's have some fun. Let's get on into this thing and let's go and see. First things first, Scott, have you had a chance to hear any of the show today?
I have not had really an opportunity to go through and listen to it. I was going to do it when I got off of work.
Okay, well, there has been some unfriendly comments about the Ravens this whole show, man.
I bet there has.
We got Bangalorean, he does think you guys are, pretty good, but once again, says you're not too much of a threat, and that's all right. He doesn't believe in the hype. He thinks that NFL's got you figured out. Mr. Cozy said the same thing, I think. He says you guys pretty much, he doesn't believe in the hype. Lamar Jackson's basically, kind of a one-trick pony, I guess. And the same thing with Matt Hames. He says you guys are good, but everyone has figured you guys out. And basically all 3, Steelers, Browns, and Bengals, all 3 of those fans believe that the Baltimore Ravens just aren't. They're the defending division champions, hence why you're the last team to go today. But they're pretty much saying that you're probably not going to do it again. So we're going to get to that at the end. You can address all of that at the end. That's always fun. But with that said, man, since it's your first time here on 8 Divisions in 8 Days, go ahead and tell everybody, man, all the diehard Ravens fans listening right now, man, how you became such a diehard fan, how you became affiliated with the Ravens.
I'm from Baltimore, born and raised. I went to my first Ravens game when I was 8 years old. My family has had season tickets since I was little, man. I mean, I've been going to Ravens games as long as I can remember. I remember my first Steelers game. I've been to the Steelers and Ravens Thanksgiving game. I've been to a lot of games. I've been to Heinz Field to watch the Ravens Steelers play. It kind of was born. I guess I was born into it, kind of. 96 when the Ravens became a franchise, I was only 6 years old. So, it was kind of like it was once I turned 6, they got a team. By the time I was 8 years old, I was kind of knee deep in it. Just family, really. It's something that the family's always done. My uncles have season tickets. My dad has them. I have them now. So it's just kind of a family thing. Which is cool. So yeah, that's pretty much how I became such a diehard. Is going to the game. I watch a lot of football in general, but I mean, watch Ravens football. I know it in and out. And like I said, it's all I've really known since I was a little boy. So
that's awesome, brother. Well, I'll tell you right now, man, you're a diehard through and through. And well, just so you know, you do have a friend in the chat room, man, Matt Hames. We just got off the phone talking Steelers, and he said he's going to be in here, of course, but he already says, I can tell this guy is cool, though, or I can already tell this guy is cool, though, so I don't think there's going to be anything crazy said, but I may read a few comments here and there, Scott, and you guys go back and forth through me, through the chat room and through live on air, but, so, first things, because I love this rivalry, man. Ravens-Steelers rivalry is just unreal. I love this rivalry so much, so, with that said, man, let's get things going and talk. Okay, here we go. Matt says, even though we probably disagree about teams, but I can tell a classy guy. So there you go, man. So coming from a diehard Steelers fan. So with that said, last season, you guys, man, win the division. You play great football, but you fall short. Go ahead and talk about every raw emotion from last year. Walk us through the season and let us know your thoughts throughout the whole season last year.
Oh, thoughts on what happened last year?
Yeah, your thoughts on the entire season from last year.
All right. Well, I mean, it was disappointing. I mean, it was very disappointing to 14-2, all the hype, getting to the postseason, and you fall flat on your face. I think it was. I thought it was a lot to do with coaching. I thought the game plan was kind of out of whack. Me personally, I thought that Roman, our offensive coordinator, was coaching for a head coaching job. I thought he tried to get a little bit too cute. I think Lamar was a little bit flustered. He's still young. There was throws early on that should have been caught that weren't caught. That really, I think, hindered Lamar early on in that game. You had the first drive of the game, we're driving down the field to score a touchdown, and then he throws the pass to Mark Andrews, hits off his hands, intercepted. Mm-hmm. Then right before the second half, it's 13-6, I believe, right before halftime. And I'm at the stadium, so I was there for the game. And I mean, he threw a bomb to oh man, what was that guy? Seth Robert. He threw a bomb to Seth Robert. It would have been a walk-in touchdown. I mean, the guy, there was no one around him. Hits off his hands, hits off his helmet, falls to the ground. Lamar, you can see that Lamar was frustrated with it. That would have tied the game early in the first half. And then it was like the second half. They played like we were down by 40 points when we were only down by 8. It was like we got scared. We weren't used to playing from behind, and they just wanted to get pass happy. And Lamar ended up throwing the ball that day 59 times. Okay, but here's this though: he not only threw the ball 59 times, he dropped back 76 times that night. 76 times he dropped back. Of course, some of them ended up being scrambles. They're just still called pass plays. Like I said, I just think that all around, we just got the Titans. Give the Titans credit, man. The Titans beat us up, man. Vrabel had them guys ready. They hit us in the mouth. We couldn't stop Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry was running all over us. He made Earl Thomas look quite like a child. And again, we couldn't stop them. We couldn't stop them. I think they threw for like 80 yards all game. We just couldn't stop the run. They ran all over us. So, but in the draft, we got 2 new inside linebackers. We got a linebacker in the first round from LSU, who looks like he's going to be real good in camp. He's had a real good camp. Then we got another linebacker, Malik Harrison, out of Ohio State. He's had a really, really good camp too. So we stood up the middle of the field. We got Calais Campbell to help with pass rush from an interior. I think that we've gotten better. We lost Yondo, which is going to hurt, but we did pick up a couple guards in the draft as well. So we'll see how it plays out, man.
Absolutely. We see. Okay, so as I mentioned, we knew you were going to get some heckling here. Matt says, ask him why they fell short, because Jackson was exposed. And then Taryn says, the Ravens definitely disappointed me last year. How do you lay an egg to a 6th seed at home? I had such high hopes for the Dirty Birds. I think that's their nickname. So what do you got to say about that real quick, man?
I mean, I've already kind of said why we fell short, man. It was a little bit of everything. I think that the Titans credit, man, they punched us in the mouth. They did what we were doing to teams all year long.
Yeah.
They did what we did to their teams all year long. So I mean, we were punching teams in the mouth. We beat we beat the Steelers, right, twice last year. The last time we beat the Steelers, we didn't even play nobody. Lamar sat, our offensive. We had a lineman playing that game that was inactive for 16 weeks. He came in the game and he looked like an all-pro. We fell short. We fell on our faces. It sucks. It was embarrassing. But again, give the Titans credit, man. They didn't just beat us. The round before that, they knocked the GOAT out of the playoffs.
They did.
I mean, Vrabel was on his shit, and they also they had Kansas City on the ropes, man. They were beating them. So I mean, the Tennessee wasn't a bad team. They started off kind of slow and then picked up as the year progressed, like they did the year before that. And Derrick Henry, man, in December and January, that's a big man to try to be tackling. He just ran all over us. It was what it was. But we won the division by 6 games, so I don't really. We won the division by 6 games. So I mean, they can talk all that talk. They can talk, but at the end of the day, we're 2-time reigning defending champions of the North right now. So I mean, someone's got to come take it from us.
There you go, Scott. So, all right, man. Let's go into these free agents here real quick. You mentioned a few already, but some of the biggest signings and departures, man. Calais Campbell coming over from Jacksonville was huge. You guys had Derek Wolfe coming over from the Broncos. That is already gigantic. That defense got that much better, in my opinion. You guys kept Jimmy Smith. James Hurst will go over the Saints. You guys will keep your punter, Sam Koch, and Michael Pierce will stay as well. I'm sorry, Michael Pierce will be on his way to the Vikings. Let's see here, Patrick Onwussler, don't want to butcher his name, but head over to the Jets. You guys have DJ Fluker now, helping to beef up the offensive line, coming from Seattle. You guys have Hayden Hurst coming on over, heading on over to the Falcons. Seth Roberts, as you mentioned, he's over to the Panthers now. But then really, man, Anthony Levine staying. Pernell McPhee, he's staying. Andre Smith, he's staying. I mean, realistically, man, some big-time moves here. I know I've mentioned everybody, but you can mention whoever you'd like. Regardless, man, what do you think about your free agency? Who do you think were your biggest pickups, and who do you think can make the biggest impact coming up this season?
I don't even know if it's going to be a free agent adding. I think it's going to be, I honestly think the biggest impact this season is going to be Patrick Queen. I mean, this kid in camp has looked, from what we're hearing, has looked great. Sideline speed. He's very distinctive. I think that he's going to make a huge impact this year. I would not be at all surprised if he made a running or was at the end of the year was in the conversation for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Because, he's looked great. He's thick. He's got a thick lower half. He can fight off blocks. He's still, he's got it. We'll see what happens, but I think that'll probably be the biggest impact of someone coming in that wasn't on the team last year. But I do like the addition of Calais Campbell and Derek Wolfe. You can't overlook that. Them guys, man, they're going to, we needed a pass rush from the inside. They're going to nullify that. They're also very good at stopping the run. So yeah, those two guys will do well in our system as well, I do think. But I think Patrick Queen is he's a really good fit for with Wink. Wink's defense, man, the way he uses those linebackers, blitzing and stuff. Malik Harrison and Patrick Queen will have really good years in the middle.
That's awesome, man. And, let's go ahead and get into that draft now. We have here, as you mentioned, Patrick Queen. The young man is coming out of a championship winning, or coming off a championship winning season for LSU. Great first round pick. I mean, I don't think you guys could have drafted better. J.K. Dobbins coming on out now from Ohio State. You got another beastie running back. That is so cool. Justin Madabuki, I don't butcher his name, but defensive tackle out of Texas A&M, another big body there. Devin Duvernay. This dude was such a good pickup for you guys. You need another speedy receiver, wide receiver out of Texas. Malik Harrison, linebacker out of Ohio State, another quick, fast linebacker. Tyree Phillips, offensive tackle out of Mississippi State. Ben Bredesen, offensive guard out of Michigan, another big body there. Broderick Washington Jr., defensive tackle out of Texas Tech. And then your later round guys, James Prochet, I believe, wide receiver out of SMU, and Geno Stone, safety out of Iowa. You already talked about Queen, and I think it's amazing. But what about these other guys, man? Anybody else that can make an immediate impact for you guys this year?
Well, rookie-wise?
Yes.
Yeah, I could. Now Duvernay, from word out of camp, he's kind of coming along a little bit slow. He catches everything, they say. But I think they're still trying to figure out how they want to use him in the offense too. Prochet, man, Prochet's had a great camp. They say he hasn't dropped the ball yet. He's a really good on teams, really good special teams player, punt returner, kick returner. And I mean, he can catch, he can run routes real well. I really think that Prochet, at least right away, will have a larger role with the team than Duvernay. Just because I think they're going to, like I said, they're going to feel around and see what they want to do with Duvernay. Because I think he's going to be really good as well. But I think that he might be in line for targets too. You got Hollywood Brown, who also plays at that same role that Duvernay plays, short, fast guy. But Duvernay plays big though. He plays. He drew a lot of comparisons to Steve Smith Sr. He plays big. I think he's 6 foot, but he probably plays like he's 6'3". Big dude. But I really do think right away, at least, I think Prochet this year will have a better rookie season than what Duvernay will have.
You know what? That's a great way of putting it. And you guys, man, you just added more talent. I think you guys are going to do really, really well, man. We got Matthew Hames in the chat room here saying that Juju gave you guys, I guess, one of the games that you guys played against them, the Steelers this year. He says, Jackson versus Pittsburgh the first time, 161 yards, 3 interceptions, sacked 5 times. You can thank Juju for that. What do you think, man?
Okay, well, here's this, though. Here's this. So he threw 3 picks. Again, 2 of them off drop passes. One of them shouldn't have been an interception because Devin Bush didn't catch that ball. Ball was all over the ground. He didn't catch that. Lamar had a bad game. I mean, it happens. All great players have bad games. I mean, do they want to talk about Ben? I mean, Ben had 16 picks. He led the league in interceptions the year prior to that. You're going to have, all great quarterbacks have bad games. He had a bad day. But if you look back at the game, there was, either way, what separated us in that game was 1 touchdown. And that was the 1 touchdown that Lamar threw to Hollywood Brown. It was a great pass. The Steelers got a tough defense, man. They do. They got a nice little pass rush. They got a good front seven. But I'm not really too concerned with them offensively. I'm really not. I don't think Ben. I think Ben's done. Having elbow surgery at 30. What is he? 38. Major elbow surgery at 38. I think he's done. I think he's done. They don't have no weapons on offense. Juju's not a number 1 receiver. He's a number 2. Ben's going to force the ball more than ever. They have no running game. The running game's unheard of. They don't have one. And Ben's never not had a running game either. So now he's going to force the ball even more. Hey, look, I would not be shocked at all if the Steelers finish last place this year in the division. Seriously, though.
Whoa.
Again, it's a different, man, it's a different, their offense is going to be stagnant. It's not going to, they just don't have anyone on offense. They actually got one guy on offense that I kind of fear a little bit, Deontay Johnson. He can fly. He can play. But again, though, I don't think Ben's always relied on his arm, on arm strength, on getting the ball out and being able to throw the ball and play it. Man, that elbow surgery he had last year was not a minor surgery. That was a big deal. I don't know that he's going to be able to throw the ball more than 50, 40 yards this year. So, I mean, I do not see the Steelers finishing higher than the Browns. I think it's going to be, I think the Ravens will finish probably between 10 and 11 wins. We'll probably, I say 10 and 11, 10 and 6, 11 and 5 for us. I can see the Browns doing like a 9 and 7, Steelers going 8 and 8, and then Bengals maybe 7 wins, 6 wins, maybe they can get to 8 wins. But yeah, the biggest threat in the division is Cleveland Browns. If you're asking me, I mean that's my opinion on it. They got a running game. They got Chubb, he's a beast. They got Odell, they got Jarvis, they got Myles Garrett. They got a ton of talent on that team. It's just about putting it together, and they got Fancy's a damn good coach, man. I like Stefanski. He's a run-first guy, so they're not going to, Baker's not going to be throwing the ball 35 times a game no more. I think that they'll do well.
Dang, man. I mean, you just like gave it to the Steelers, man. You got Matt in the chat room going crazy, man. He says, tell him it was against Duck Hodges. He says, Ben led the league in passing 2 years ago. He says, no weapons. I'll see you in a primetime face-off on Thanksgiving. So he's calling you out, man. And then he says,
hey, that's fine. Hey, I'm down with that. I am for that. Here's the thing about this. I can't help who their quarterback is. You got to play with who you got. I mean, I can't help that. All I know is that they lost last year down the stretch with that great defense that they were pounding their chest about. They lost to the Jets, okay, in week 15 last year, or 16. Mm-hmm. With the playoffs on the line, they lose to the Jets, all right? Then they still got a slim chance week 17 if they just beat the Ravens without Lamar Jackson, without Mark Ingram, without Mark Andrews, without Orlando Brown, without Ronnie Stanley. I mean, we had all our best players weren't playing. We had guys playing on the O-line that hadn't even dressed all year, okay? And we dominated them. I mean, we completely bashed them down the throat with Gus Edwards and RG3. That was RG3's first win in, 5 years over the Steelers. Seriously, though. I mean, I'm not, again, and today, trust me, I know what it's like to have a great defense and have the offense wash it away. I'm a Ravens fan. We've been seeing it our whole entire lives. I've seen so many great defenses wasted because you cannot move the ball on offense. That's exactly what I see for the Steelers. They're going to have a great defense, but in this league today, you've got to be able to score points. If you can't score points, you're not going to win games. I don't think they had the answer for Lamar Jackson one game. Lamar, man, this whole thing that these teams have Lamar Jackson figured out is nonsense. Okay, so we heard that his rookie year after San Diego beat us in the playoffs. All we heard was, we got him figured out now. We got him now down. We know how to stop him. We know how to do this. Well, guess what? What did he do the next year? He won the MVP the next year. Okay, so they can say they got him figured out. Just like they're watching film and studying Lamar, what do they think? Lamar's not studying them back? You don't think Lamar's finding holes in his own game to make himself better? Picking stuff apart that he was doing wrong to get better? It's going to be a chess match, and this kid is different. He's built different. He's a great leader, natural leader. You don't have to try real hard. Team rallies around him. He's got a great head on his shoulders. He's humble. I just don't know how you can't root for this kid to do well before he's playing your team plus year.
I agree. And finishing off here, Matt says a couple more things. Says, Ben, 2-time Super Bowl champion. Lamar did 2-time wild card round loser. And he says, we'll see. Better hope that game tape everyone has on Lamar this offseason doesn't come back to haunt them. They said the same thing about Kaepernick when he ran wild against Green Bay.
Yeah, but they did say the same thing about Kaepernick, but Kaepernick didn't win the MVP the following year.
There you go, man.
Lamar Jackson came back after that first year and then won an MVP. There was plenty of film on him. There was 9 games of film on him from this rookie season. 9 games, okay? So, I mean, it's not like there was no film on this kid.
Absolutely.
Film was out. I don't want to, and again, he keeps on saying, Big Ben has 2 Super Bowl wins. Hey, guess what? Tell him to go ahead and look up the worst QBR of a quarterback who won a Bowl in NFL history. And guess what? It's your boy Big Ben. I think he had a 23.9 QBR the year that they won that Super Bowl. His first Super Bowl, in that Super Bowl game, he had a QBR of 23.9, the lowest ever of any quarterback that won a Super Bowl, okay? Don't act like this dude was carrying them. He was carried by a great defense and a great run game. Come on, man. And again, he was talking about Ben's 2 Super Bowl wins. That's a team accomplishment. That's a team achievement. That's not something one player does. It's a whole team. You guys tell him to start naming Big Ben's individual achievements. MVPs, offensive players of the years, anything for that matter. He don't have any. So again, it's like you talk all that you want, but at the end of the day, those 2 Super Bowl wins are great. But that's a team achievement, a team accomplishment. He's never had anything. All right, Ben is a great quarterback. He is, but the game is past Ben though. It's not, and for how great he is, he forces the ball and he turns the ball over a lot. He has led the league in interceptions 2 times in his career. Okay, 2 times in his career. He has never, not one time in his whole entire career, has he ever had led the league in touchdown passes. Never done that. He's also never had a QPR, a passer rating of more than 110. Lamar had 113 passer rating last year, okay? Ben's never done that. Led the league in touchdown passes here. Ben's never done that. Ben has never had a season as efficient as Lamar had last year, ever, in his whole career. Lamar is 2 years in, 23 years old, okay? Early in the playoffs, I get it. It sucked, but it wasn't just Lamar that lost that game. You watch those games, Lamar could have been better. Even last year against Tennessee could have been way better. But at the same time, man, a team. It takes a team. Lamar Jackson wasn't out there trying to tackle Derrick Henry. It wasn't his fault that Derrick Henry ran for almost 200 yards on us that night. It's a team sport, man. Winning Super Bowls is something that a team does, not one player. So go ahead and boast about Ben's Super Bowls. Boast about him now, because guess what? He ain't winning no more. He ain't winning no more. He might not even get to the playoffs ever again.
Well, ending comments here from Matt, because we move on, man. But he says here, see, this is what I'm saying. Excuses for Lamar. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Not Lamar's fault. He's overthrowing receivers left and right. Oh my gosh. Well, I'll tell you right now, that Thanksgiving Fridays off is going to be amazing. I hope both of you guys are doing well during the season, but I'll tell you right now, well, both of your teams, well, of course, both of you, of course, but man, you're right, though. Lamar Jackson, class act, good young man, very good competitive athlete. And it's true, how can you not cheer for him? He is a great athlete, and the guy is just somebody, like you said, you want to cheer for. So I know I want to cheer for him, and this Ravens team is something else, man. So last but not least, brother, I know you got to get up out of here, man. So I know you got lunch and everything to get back to work, brother. But I just want to say thank you so much for being on today's show, man. Without further ado, today, well, you've done it pretty much the entire time you've been on, and I'm just asking for one more, man. This, of course, is a segment where you don't really care for the Browns, the Bengals, or the Steelers. And this is the segment where you can stick it to them and have some fun, man. Talk about how they're going to do this year and say whatever you like to. You could be respectful, you could be mean, however you want to say it, man. Without further ado, stick it to them.
So like I said earlier, I think that the division will definitely be closer than it was last year. Again, I don't think that we'll win the division by 6 games again this year. We won it by 6 games last year. So I think it's going to be closer. I don't think we win 14 games. I don't think we go undefeated. I think that we're more of a 10 to 11 win team. I'd be real surprised if we got to the 12, 13 win range. 10, 11 wins, I could see maybe 12. I still think, like I said, that Cleveland is going to be the second best team in the division, but I don't think that they have enough to top us. But if there is a team that's going to top us, it's going to be them, in my opinion. I think the Steelers are going to take a step backwards. I see them 500 again, maybe even a little bit less than that. I just don't think that offense is going to be able to score enough to keep up with the big dogs. And hey, I'll tell you what, Cincy will have a huge turnaround this year. I like what Cincy's doing. They got a couple good linebackers in the draft. They needed linebackers. They just signed Mixon. They got, Burrow, who I think will have a really good career. I think he'll have a really good rookie year. He's got good targets to throw to. I mean, they're loaded at receiver. So I could see them winning again, like 6 to 7, 8 games. But it'll be interesting. It'll definitely be a tougher division than last year. I'm not going to, like I said, I don't think we're going to, do what we did last year. 14-2 is hard to replicate, man. It's not an easy thing to do. I don't think we're going to repeat that. But I do think that this year we have a better chance at actually winning a playoff game. And then Lamar can get that monkey off his back. Again, I don't do wins and losses as a team, as an individual thing. I think it's the most overrated stat in football. It takes a team to win. That's a team achievement. You would never hear me say, Lamar won us that game, or Lamar, it was only because of Lamar. I'm a team guy. I root for the name on the front of the jersey, not the back. Okay, so I'm real about the team. I think that this team is a better Ravens team than last year's team was. Even if we won't win 14 games on a regular season, I think they'll be more poised to win a game in the playoffs this year.
Man, you guys really, I agree. You guys have a very tough team, tough mentality. You could win as many as 12, maybe even more. But I agree, the division is going to be pretty tough if it is what it is on paper. But we shall see. Overall, man, you guys look good. This defense is looking real good. Lamar Jackson's coming back to do the dang thing. And Matt says one more thing. He says, all love, just passionate fans who disagree, LOL.
Hey, man, I'm all for some good trash talk, man. I don't take none of that stuff personal. It comes with the territory, comes with football. I like it. I like the rivalry. Again, the Steelers. I don't. They'll be the Steelers. I think they'll. Maybe they will shock me. Maybe they will surprise me. I don't think the offense is going to move as. They just think that Ben's going to come back in and just be this, savior. And he's 38 years old. It's not like you're getting a fresh quarterback. You're getting a guy who just came off of elbow surgery. So we'll see what happens, man.
Absolutely. And this year, man, I said it last year, and darn it, I didn't get to do it. But this year, I'm actually going to start keeping wins and losses of primetime face-offs, and I want to have live voting during the shows. So honestly, y'all, this is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have wins and losses for you guys as primetime face-offs, and I can't wait till you take on Matt, man. It's going to be a fun one.
Oh, yeah, man. It'll be fun.
Let's get ready, man. So with that said, all right, man, it has been awesome, Mr. Scott. With that said, brother, real quick before you're out of here, please let all these Ravens fans know, man. Let Ravens flock know where they can find you on Twitter or any other thing you may do, man. Wherever you want them to find you at, man, let them know.
Yeah, so it's at Scott Scholl or at Scholl for Real on Twitter. And I just do Facebook, so my name on Facebook. I don't really do any of the social media. I'm very active on Twitter, very active on Facebook. So give me a follow, give me a friend request, and I will follow back and friend request back.
Well, there you go, man. With that said, brother, thank you so much for being on today's show. That was a lot of fun, man. I look forward to having you back very soon, man. Take care. God bless you and your family. Have a wonderful rest of your day, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Hey, stay healthy, man. Stay safe and healthy. You and the fam.
You too, man. Appreciate you, brother. Take care, man.
Thank you, buddy.
Hey, it's all, brother. All righty, y'all. That is going to do it. Man, what a show. Man, can we just get a hand clap? My gosh. That was fun. That was so much fun. I'll tell you what. Blown out voice and all, this has been a great week. We started things off with the AFC West on Monday. We had Some awesome interviews there. All week long we have. But we have talked to amazing fans. We had Taryn first up. Then I would second with the Raiders. Who would third would be Lori with those Broncos. And anchoring out that show, who would fourth would be, of course, Mr. Robert Dillon. Lots of craziness in that interview. So much as Taryn would say in the chat room, man, some disrespect there. Of course, all in fun, but man, some good stuff there. Then on into Tuesday, we had the AFC East. We had Josh Ritter talk about his Dolphins. Miss Patty, that was amazing talking with her about her Bills. Awesome stuff there. Can't wait to have her back on the show soon. We also had that day Mr. Harrison talking about his Jets, another amazing guest, talking about, growing up being a Jets fan. And then, of course, we had I was reading some of the responses, or the responses from Mr. Chris Blackie for the Patriots. Yesterday, we had H-Town Blake Henley talking Texans, Davidson Crooks talking Titans. That was super cool. Then, of course, we had Mr. J.R. Duran talking some Jaguars, and Jeremy Welch talking some Indianapolis Colts. And then today, just what an awesome show as well. We had some more newcomers. We had the Bangalorian talking some Bengals. We had, let's see here. Who else we have today? Michael Cozy talking some Browns, or talking Browns. Matt Hames talking Steelers. And Scott Scholl anchoring out the week. 16th, if you will. Or 16th in it, if you will, whatever. Half through the league. And we have now finished up with the Ravens. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been an amazing week. And like I said, blowing out voice or not, this has been awesome. It is all of you fans out there, all of you listeners who make this thing work. And I really appreciate you guys. This has just been such a great show. 7 seasons, y'all. And we're just getting better. Here we are now, into our 7th season, and we have concluded AFC week. And man, it has been great. I am seriously looking forward to so much coming up this year. So much great football. And this AFC is going to be a lot of fun to watch. Next week, we will get things going with NFC week. Monday will be the NFC West. We will have Tuesday will be the NFC East. Wednesday will be the NFC South. And a week from today will be the NFC North, as well as kickoff for the NFL. 2 AFC teams going at it. The Houston Texans taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. And we will go right into kickoff next week. Gonna be awesome. And super excited for that. I can tell you right now, this has just been such a great thing, man. And I'm ready for it. I'm ready to do the dang thing. So, without further ado, we're going to take ourselves one more break. It'll be a little lengthy because I want to do something a little special today for this break. Of course, we had some shows that would, no longer be around, and some departures from My Sports Radio in the last, year. And this is my first time making an entirely big commercial for the network. And I just got to say thank you to everybody who's been a part of My Sports Radio. Everybody, seriously. We've had some good ones, some great shows, awesome stuff. And I just got to say thank you all so much for being a part of this thing. So, we have this at the top of our internet page. Well, sorry, our website. And I haven't played it a lot lately because, of course, I got to make a new one with all of our new shows. So, for the final time here on iSports Radio, maybe I'll play it again one day for nostalgia. But for the final time, at least for right now, you can hear it for a little bit until I take it down and make a new one. But for the final time on any show, because no one else has it but me, Here is the IE Sports Radio Network commercial. This is going to sum up at least the last couple of years. And, well, the new network commercial will be ready to launch as soon as I make it, hopefully in a few weeks. So, with that said, y'all, we're going to take ourselves a short break. And when we get back, I'll give you my final weigh-in on the AFC North and close out the week. You're listening to 8 Divisions in 8 Days. Well, 3 and out, 8 Divisions in 8 Days. AFC North Day, right here on IE Sports Radio. Your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
Good evening, sports fans. This is me, your boy Larry, bringing you yet another action-packed, wall-to-wall episode of The Defining Moment right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Phil Robinson here at IE Sports Radio, taking this moment to welcome you to storm down the lane on the Fast Break Show with me and my man Phil Jones right now.
Hey everybody, it's the host of the fastest show on IE Sports Radio, Daryl Kinsey Jr., and I'm welcoming you to take a lap of the extra mile with me and my co-hosts Lolita Camillo, Caitlin Seen, and Michael Ward as we go through all of the news and updates in NASCAR, Formula One, IndyCar, and more. That's the Extra Mile, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on IE Sports Radio.
Hello, lovelies. Caitlin Seam here, host of Not What It Seems, where nothing is off limits and no sport is safe. On IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Two Wheels Wednesday with Matt White, taking you inside the pit lane of British Superbike, World Superbike, and the big one, MotoGP.
Hey everyone, this is Felicia, the First Lady of IE Sports Radio and one of your esteemed co-hosts of Ring Rambling Radio, along with Martine Sandoval and Matt Petrushka, for all of your wrestling news and talk, from everything from WWE to Ring of Honor, All Elite Wrestling, New Japan, anything you like. Be sure to catch us right here on IE Sports Radio.
Hey there, hockey fans. This is Cal Henderson
with Nico Green.
And we are welcoming you to join us on the Neutral Zone presented by IE Sports Radio throughout the hockey season.
Buddy, let me tell you, hockey's never been hotter, and neither has the Neutral Zone.
You definitely don't want to miss it, so tune into youtube.com, IE Sports Radio, or IESportsRadio.com for all things that are hockey.
Hey everyone, this your boy Phil Jones, co-host of the Unfiltered Truth with Phil Robinson III. Every Monday, 3:30, 6:30, and Tuesday, 5:30, 8:30. On IE Sports Radio, we're here to give you guys nothing but Raider news, breakdowns of both sides of the game, and interviews with active and former players and NFL analysts. Because we are here to give you nothing but the unfiltered truth. We want you guys to get the real stuff. So join us every Monday night and Tuesday night on IE Sports Radio.
What's going on, football fans? This is me, your boy Larry, inviting you to join myself, Callum Reynolds, Mike Pat, and John Felipe for one of the most electrifying football shows you have ever heard. 3 and Out, right here on IE Sports Radio. Recap of the week before, a preview of what's to come, and of course, 3 hardcore head-to-head primetime face-offs each week. You don't want to miss it.
You love racing, and we love racing. So join myself, Lolita Camillo, with my co-hosts, Daryl Kinsey Jr., Caitlin Seen, and Michael Ward as we talk racing on the Extra Mile here every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern on the IE Sports Radio Network, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Oh yeah, if you're a fan of professional wrestling, if you're a fan of WWE, if you're a fan of All Elite Wrestling, if you're a fan of the sport of professional wrestling, you're in the right place. Hello, I am the SoCal Saint, Martine Sandoval, coming to you live with Ring Rambling Radio, along with the First Lady of IE Sports Radio, Felicia, and my good brother, Matt Petrushka. It's Ring Rambling Radio, part of IE Sports Radio. Dig it!
Hello and welcome to the Soccer Scoreboard Show with your host, Gabriel Montoya. This is the show for soccer, football fans, or whatever you call the beautiful game. Every week I tackle the latest and greatest news from around the soccer world, from the English Premier League to the World Cup to MLS, Liga MX, and more. You can listen to the Soccer Scoreboard Show and our lineup of fantastic guests every Friday at noon here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Are you a big fan of baseball? Well, then join us every Tuesday on the International Empire Sports Radio Network. I'm your host, Brandon Buckingham. I have my co-host, Taryn Rodriguez, and Blake Henley. Join me every week when we will discuss the latest in sports. See you then.
What's up, IE Sports Radio family? This is John Felipe, one half of the Brothers Blue, coming to you from Charlotte, North Carolina. You can catch me on any one of those shows on 3 and Out, on The Brothers Blue on YouTube, as well as IE Sports Radio, your home for all that is sports.
Warning, warning. The following opinions are not sanctioned by IE Sports Radio. The truth is a beautiful thing. We would never twist it, nor will it ever be sugar-coated, so prepare yourself. I'm Phil Robinson, he's Phil Jones, and this is The Unfiltered Truth.
Hello, this is Michael Ward from The Extra Mile, and you're listening to IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey, IE Sports Radio family, this your boy, Mr. Gumbo himself, Caleb Fat Mac Reynolds. What up? You know I'm part of the Defining Moment NBA segment and also 3 and Out. Holla at your boy from the Big Easy all the way to your front door. This is IE Sports Radio, your home for all that is sports.
Hey guys, it's Blake Henley, better known as H-Town Blake to some of you. Happy to announce that Bases Loaded is back and in full force. We'll be bringing that high heat every Tuesday night here on IE Sports Radio. So come home, get ready, dig into that batter's box, and see if you can chase that high heat, baby. So we'll be coming to you live with all the stats, all the rundowns, all the division rivalries, and every team that's going to make the playoff push to get to that one and only October and get to the pinnacle of what baseball is, to hoist that Commissioner's Trophy when it's all said and done.
This is your Bautista, the Kurt Man. You can catch me each month alongside Vince Wright, sports governor of Minnesota, talking boxing on IE Sports Radio.
Hello, sports fans. This is Mike Pat, co-host of 3 and Out NFL Edition, editor of the IE Sports Radio blog, diehard Redskins fan, alumni of the Florida State University, and all-around sports fanatic. Come check out my stuff and more on IE Sports Radio, your feed for all that is sports.
Hey, this your boy Phil Jones, also the host of the Fast Break Show, with Phil Robinson III joining me as my sidekick as always. Look, we come at you guys every Friday night at 5 p.m., 8 p.m. Eastern. Look, we give you guys all the latest NBA news from NCAA as well and the WNBA. We also let you guys know pregame, injuries, whatever you need to know for basketball, for your fantasy league as well. So look, y'all tune in for the Fast Break Show every Friday night at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 8 p.m. Eastern on IE Sports Radio. Y'all take care.
What's good, everybody? My name is Taryn Rodriguez, co-host for Bases Loaded. You can catch me, Brandon Buckingham, and Blake Henley on Bases Loaded at 7 p.m. Pacific Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time on IE Sports Radio. It's sure to be a grand slam.
This is Matt Petrushko, one half of the Good Brothers of Ring Ramblin' Radio, with Martine Sandoval and Felicia Ruizrager, and you can catch us each month talking everything wrestling right here on IE Sports Radio, your home for all that is sports.
Do you love college football? And do you want to hear a college football show dedicated to all that is college football, including junior college and the CCCAA and the NJCAA, the NAIA, and the NCAA, including Division III, Division II, Division I AA in the FCS, and Division I A in the FBS? Well then, look no further. Join myself, Larry B., and my colleagues, Mr. H-Town Blake, Blake Henley, and Mr. Christian Espinoza, each week during the college football season for the latest in college football on 3 and Out College Edition, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Oh, the memories. That was a lot of fun, y'all. Good times with great people. Great times with great people. With that said, That's probably the last time you're going to hear that one for at least, like I said, maybe for nostalgia purposes in the future on some anniversary shows or whatnot. But I will be making a new one. So this is the official announcement. I'll be making the new network track, the new network promo, if you will, for all of us. Got to find a new track and have some fun with it. I already got a few that I'm considering. I'm going to pick from those. But I'm really excited. And, what can I say? We got a lot of great shows. Once again, thank you to all of the hosts that have been a part of IE Sports Radio. And since we've been around the last 6 years, if you have departed and you are no longer with us, you are always a part of the IE Sports Radio family. And we thank you and we love you. And we appreciate y'all. I thank you and I love you all for being a part of this. And for all the newcomers, for everyone who stayed, you're awesome. I appreciate you. I thank you and I love you as well. And for all the newcomers, looking forward to having many great shows with all y'all. I thank y'all and I love you as well. With that said, let's get things going and finally talk about this final weigh-in. It's something to look at. The AFC North is definitely not it's not a cakewalk, but I wouldn't say that it is as competitive as it's been the last couple of years, or since we've seen it, or from what we know of it. But that does not change the fact that it is going to be an extremely fun, competitive division. And all I know is we are going to have us a great year of football. You already know what that means, y'all. Without further ado, for AFC Week, one last time, cue the music. It's time to weigh in. All right. First and foremost, I gotta tell you right now, I really want this team to do good. But as of right now, I'm not sure how good they'll do. The Cincinnati Bengals have every chance to be a great team this year, especially led by their leader, their new leader for sure, Joe Burrow. This team can drastically get better, or they could be the same. They can improve. We will see. I got them going between 6-10 and maybe 7-9. 8-8 could be best, but I think they got to gel. They got a lot to get to. But the ceiling is high, and as you heard Matt talk about, he thinks they can run the division coming up in the next couple of years, and I agree. Next up, the Cleveland Browns. As much as I want to say this team is going to be a big breakout team, it may take a year or two, well, maybe just a year, to get this coaching staff all together and get everybody on the same page, players, everybody. But realistically, this team is coming. I got them at 8-8, 9-9. I'm sorry, 8-8, 9-7. As a matter of fact, I just got a tweet via Ian Rappaport, and it says here, Ronnie Harrison to the Browns for 2021 fifth rounder. Sources said. You can follow Ian Rappaport at RapSheet. That is RAPSHEET. Thank you very much, Ian Rappaport, for the update there. But I got them between 8-8, 9-7, maybe 7-9. But I think they can get around that area this year. Next up, it's going to be a toss-up between these two, but I'm taking the Ravens. So I got the Steelers going 9-7, 8-8 around there. And just as Scott said, the Ravens will more than likely only win 10 to 11 games. Could be surprised if they get past that. Honestly, I agree. It'll be good. It'll be great to see them do it, but I got the Ravens winning the division at 9-7 or 10-6, and it's going to be really close between all these teams. The Bengals will be a factor in all these seasons. It is going to be a fun season, guys. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm looking forward to it. That is going to do it for AFC Week. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed it. I get a 3-day break from my voice. Hopefully I sound better on Monday. When we start NFC week with the NFC West coming up on Monday, I hope you're ready, y'all. I'm your host. I'm your boy Larry B. I will see you on next week. Until then, take care, and as always, God bless.